everything? Okay.
Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, I make a motion to open the meeting. Is there a second, please?
Second. Okay, trustee Coe.
Yes.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Is there any board member with a conflict of interest or anything to disclose regarding the agenda items for this evening?
I do not.
I do not. I do not.
I do not. Okay, with that being said, would the clerk please read the open meeting compliance certification or Cliff's notes?
Cliff notes, okay. Speakers, if you're going to speak from the audience, please provide your name, address, and organization. There'll be exemption for any category of people protected by New York State law. And all I ask is bless you, that we observe commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good faith.
Okay. Okay, thank you. With that being said, let's stand please for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would like our scouts here to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna shift a few items on the agenda. Is Scott Harder on the line? We're trying to get our village engineer on the line.
Okay, Scott, can you hear us? Can you speak?
Shifting.
Yeah. Is he on yet?
Not allowed him to speak.
I'm here.
There you are. Hi, Scott.
And I
Thank
think
you.
Just,
Yeah, it's item number 8 on the agenda. It's our sewer pump station upgrades. Totally a glamorous topic. We just need, our engineer has to go into another meeting, so we just would like to cover this item first. So I'm sorry to keep a few folks waiting here. Scott, do you want to sort of jump in a bit on this and kind of give a bit of background on what you've been looking at?
Well, the 75 Monroe Avenue project has a sanitary pump station that will eventually be dedicated to the village, and that pump station will require maintenance, and it will require monitoring. As part of the latest technology, the monitoring systems for these new pumps takes place in the cloud. So it's an internet-based monitoring system, and the manufacturer's representative has met with me to speak about the system and how it works and when we want it online, and has provided some initial pricing information as to what that charge is. I believe it's roughly $600 a year for the monitoring. And when we had that discussion, we also asked him to provide us information for monitoring of the Wood Creek pump station. That would be pump station number 2 for us in the village. We only would have 2 then. And if there was a way to combine the monitoring system for both so that we could have the same system to work with, he indicated that there was, and he also indicated that the system that they use is the same one that's used by the town of Pittsford in their particular pump stations, which we thought was a positive, because sometimes we exchange personnel and various things with the town of Pittsford. Also, a monitoring service that they indicate they can do is for these siphons, which go underneath the canal. It takes sanitary wastewater to the other side of the canal and then through the distribution network thereafter. They indicated that they have a system that can monitor the siphons, and we're soliciting a proposal for that as well. We think, as the DPW superintendent and I think perhaps others as well, think it's probably a good idea to have a comprehensive monitoring system for these locations. It reduces maintenance costs. It allows one to know if there's a problem in the future or in the near future, so that actions can be taken to minimize or mitigate any situation that may occur.
So Scott, so this is, we're getting a new pump station where they're building 75 Monroe, and it's gonna be turned over to the village. We have an existing pump station out at Wood Creek, just up over the line in the town. And then we have 3 siphons that go under the canal.
Yeah.
That currently are not monitored this way, am I correct?
Yes, it's kind of, the way it's monitored now is that the crew will go out and perhaps on a weekly basis. Jason would probably know better than I the frequency, but it's essentially removing the cover and doing a visual inspection, which is certainly one way to do it. But depending on what type of debris may arrive at these locations, it could create a problem that is not detected then potentially for a week, and then and then there are overflows, and then there is pollution thereafter, and it's not a very nice situation.
So really what we're looking at is, obviously, it started with the software that would be used for the new monitor, the new sewer pump station at 75.
Right.
And this would be a software upgrade. It wouldn't be a hardware upgrade necessarily at Wood Creek.
At present, I don't know if I have all the information from the manufacturer's representative. There might be a slight hardware
Okay,
upgrade. I think the pump system that's in there can be kept. I'm not
Okay.
sure about the controller, that's all. I'm not sure if the controller is compatible with the cloud-based software.
but this is really an opportunity to integrate all of the monitoring with all of these, this pump station and the siphons, real time monitoring. And we also can work with the town because they'll have the same software. Is that what we're all hearing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Great.
So Scott, this is Trustee Wilkes. So the RTU panels, again, there are 3 of them that you kind of put into this order. Is it effectively that one of them is over at 75 Monroe? One would be over at the Wood Creek location? I'm just trying to figure out where these are all kind of going in the field.
Where the monitoring systems would be placed?
Yeah,
Well, we'll have one pump station at 75 Monroe. We have an existing pump station that we would want to monitor and include as well at Wood Creek. And then we have 3 other locations at various places within the village that cross under the canal. They're a smaller monitoring requirement than the pump stations, but we would want to establish a system for those as well. Does that answer your question?
I'm just trying to understand why there are the 3 that were being upgraded. I understand that we're doing it all at once. I'm trying to figure out where those are actually going.
Okay, I think the quote you're seeing is just for Wood Creek, to bring that up.
Well, that's
This
just
is
for.
just for Wood Creek?
That's just for Wood Creek,
Mhm.
my understanding. And what you're missing, and that's, I'm gonna apologize, somehow you got the ending, but you didn't get the quote for the site visit.
Oh, yeah.
And
the
that's an
siphon line.
addition 12,000.
Okay.
Okay, so you're missing the other piece. I
Uh-huh.
apologize.
Yeah.
Scott, I have a couple questions. This is trustee Cove. So when the proposal for 75 Monroe was made, was this known that we were gonna have to get a new pump system that was put on the village's payroll? Per se?
The need for the pump system relative to that project was always known. And it's the convention, I guess I would call it, utilities such as this to be taken over by the local municipality.
There was an assumption or that we knew we were taking this over?
We knew we were taking it over, and that was part of the whole review and approval process.
It was part of the initial
Okay.
project.
And then the areas under the canal, what DPW is currently doing this manually. Are we assuming that now with 75 Monroe, it's gonna be so much more debris that manual evaluations are not gonna be appropriate?
No, we evaluated the siphon that takes the wastewater from 75 Monroe during the course of that review. And we judged that it was capable of handling the additional wastewater. But prior to that, and just having conversations with DPW personnel, we learned that there had been historically periodic overflows of that siphon there. This is without 75 Monroe even being active. So it was, it's always been prevalent in our minds to see if there's some opportunity to improve the monitoring ability. So, because when that happens and there's a clog and an overflow, then it's not a good situation to have to try to fix.
So I just want to talk about the siphons for a minute. There's 3 siphons under the canal. How old are they roughly?
I'm guessing 7,500 years.
It's older infrastructure and, you know, our DPW crew has been vigilant and consistent with checking it every week. But I think what I'm appreciative of is that we can monitor round the clock, real time on infrastructure and be far more prepared and proactive, you know, in terms of, you know, mean time to repair or, you know, addressing an emergency. And so I'm pretty positive about this. I think this is really a good thing and that it's all integrated between all of those the stations and the siphons that we can monitor.
I'm all for that as well. I think it's great. IoT, being able to, you know, integrate with the town. I'm just trying to figure out what is the total cost.
Yeah, what is the
Mhm.
cost? That's what I
The
got
cost
to know.
is,
Because it's all great.
Let's do-
We gotta
do the
pay for
numbers.
it.
I think we have the cost that's coming from the 75 Monroe, that's just monitoring that 600, we're not.
600, when you say 600
$600.
per
A
year,
year.
per year, $600
Just
to
the
monitor.
monitoring for 75
75
euros.
just
That's it.
$600 a year.
Okay.
No other outlay from us.
No other outlay.
Okay.
They're
for-
picking up the tab.
For Wood Creek, it's the $27,297. That's to bring it up to this standard so we can monitor it all the time. Okay,
And is that include the annual fee?
the annual fee year round is $500,
$500, okay.
but it looks like you pay for 3 years upfront.
Okay, so it's embedded in
We
the,
pay, it's
I
3.
think
so
it's
there's-
for the 3 separate.
They're 3 separate
Locations.
tangents, you're reading it better,
Exactly.
so I think
Okay.
it's $1,500 there
Yeah.
$1,500 a year
Yeah.
okay.
from Wood Creek.
for Wood Creek.
Mhm.
And then you have the other one in your hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So
you,
what
Well,
he has
that-
here is Wood Creek.
This is Wood Creek,
This
that
is,
missed the packet, I apologize.
What is
what
that?
is this?
That's the site.
siphons,
Siphons. Okay,
That's
and
that's the
then
3 things under the canal.
75 Monroe is just $600.
75 Monroe is paying
Wait a
For
minute,
the
I got these
the
backwards.
station, right?
I got these so backwards.
Okay,
I was wondering why there's 3.
Yeah.
3 is the siphons.
we would. be
That's
the
what I,
siphons.
okay,
That's the
that's what I was
27.
confused. Okay,
3 is the 27.
Yes,
because 75 Monroe is one,
right,
Wood Creek is the other,
yes.
and there are 3 siphons. This
The one
right
in your
here,
hand is to
RTU
bring Wood
panels
Creek
are for
up.
siphons. Perfect. Okay.
I also, let's just talk about, the siphons, though. We set aside in reserves, a couple of years ago or last year, $300,000 in case a siphon goes. It's a big deal. And we have 3. So our thought was, let's at least get something for the rainy day if anything happens. And as I always say, if 2 or 3 go at once, then we call FEMA. But, it's, to me, it's important that we really have a real-time ability to monitor, something that's old infrastructure, and we know what it would mean to the village. And maybe you can speak to this too, Jason, you know, just it's to lose a siphon.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal to lose a site, especially in proximity to the canal. You don't have much time. Once they overflow, that they will actually go into the canal.
It's an environmental issue as well.
So due to the proximity of how close they are, you know, so at Austin, they're maybe 25 feet. At the train bridge, you're less than 5 feet from the bank.
Yeah.
It's actually built into the bank, the actual manhole that's there. So once you get above that manhole, you're there. Most of our blockages do occur on those 2 because they are the busiest ones
Mhm.
at Austin and the railroad tracks. We have had blockages, we've had to go under the canal for flushing. To real time monitor them would save us a lot to be able to directly know where the issue is. And what kind of, you know, flow they have, what kind of issues happening, you know, real time versus going over there, popping it and, you know, taking a look down there, manually removing some debris that, you know, we see, but.
What's further on?
Sure. And I don't think you have to convince us of the need and how great it's gonna be. What I want to go back to the cost shoot, because I'm still confused.
So
So
total cost.
Right, infrastructure, wait, hold on, infrastructure cost for 75 Monroe, they're covering that, right? We're just
600.
covering the 600, no, we're covering the monitoring, but the actual
Yes,
infrastructure, they're
covering
covering.
that.
Okay, so it's just
That's
600
correct.
75 Monroe. Then we have Woods, and that's 12,000 for the monitoring, for the
Wood Creek.
infrastructure. Wood Creek, right, and then 1,500 per year for the monitoring.
That's for the siphon.
That's
No.
stipends. Okay, so what's the monitoring for Wood Creek?
here,
Hang on,
let
hang
me
on.
just get you.
Dave ran the
All
numbers.
right, let's do that.
Switching over to David.
All right, let's get it
All
clear.
right, so what you have in the packet, those are the stipends, right? Three of
Yep.
them. That total cost is 27,297. Wood Creek is this new panel, or this new sheet.
Right.
12,899 total for that. Plus 600 for 75 Monroe just for monitoring. Total cost 40,796.
What's the yearly monitoring on Wood Creek?
It is, they're all 499.
Okay.
Stipends and Wood
Yeah,
Creek,
so it's
499.
$499 a year for monitoring.
So does that mean that 75 Monroe is also 499 or is it 600?
I don't know, I haven't seen that
I
contract.
thought that was 600. So
I
499,
bet 600, I haven't
did
seen
say
the
600.
contract.
499 times 3 is the stipends. So it's
Correct.
actually 1,500.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
That's in the 27,000.
Yep, so
Mhm.
it's 7,000
Yep.
total,
Total cost is 40,790.
40,000.
And that's to do the upgrade to get the
Get
monitoring.
that,
in
and then
place.
yearly we'll have the additional costs
Mhm.
for the sewer.
Mhm.
And did we know any of this was coming?
No, I think when the subject of the pump station came up at 75 Monroe, it was looked at.
As
This
an
is gonna be,
Holistically, right.
this is gonna be an opportunity to bring all our pump stations and better monitoring of the site.
Right.
Yeah, Scott,
Correct.
anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, that was it, getting 75 Monroe squared away and learning about the latest technology that could benefit us. You know, I asked the manufacturer's rep to produce exactly what you see there. I guess, you know, it's your call as to whether that's a good deal or not. I mean, certainly you don't have to do any of that. You can just do the $600 monitoring of 75 Monroe and call it good, I suppose. But there may be an opportunity here to, you know, do the whole thing and have a better handle over this aspect of the community
Well, it's a big
infrastructure.
part of infrastructure. That's for sure.
Mayor.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lindsay.
So I just got two questions here, Scott, and maybe Jeff, this leads to you a little bit. So the first one is, this is basically an offer to purchase goods, but we didn't put out a purchase request, right?
No.
So this would have to go to bid because it's a big ticket item, or no, and why?
Yes, you're right. But I'm not gonna say you're wrong. You're right, but there's other ways. If we move forward, I would see if this is on state bid. If this is on state bid, this quote could be solid.
Okay. We could, even if it is on state bid, we could still put it out to bid.
You can, I don't always recommend it because you never know what you're gonna get.
Okay.
And there's labor involved in different things.
Okay, so the reason why Fleet, the company here that's presented this, has presented these offers to us is because they're the folks that 75 Monroe hired. And so with Scott doing work there, he's like, I wonder what it would cost. And so great, Scott, great work, by the way, to bring it to our attention and what's going on over at 75 Monroe and how we might be able to parlay it into the rest of the sewer department. So I think for me, I'm interested. I think it's a good idea. It's hard to know whether or not the cost is appropriate because this is the first thing we've seen. And so what I would ask is we just put it back and see if it's on the state bid, right? And then we go from there. The other question that I had to Scott, and maybe Jason, but I know you probably haven't seen this yet, but what's the warranty on stuff like this? It looks like in the contract here that they've presented, they fall back on the manufacturer's warranty. Fleet is giving no additional warranty. And so in looking at this lineup of purchased goods, there's not an easy way to pull the brand and what their manufacturer's warranty is. So I wouldn't want to spend this money with a 5-year warranty, but if it's a 15, 20, 25, kind of nice. So it'd be nice to know what the warranties of the parts are as part of this. So even if they're on the state bid, I would expect to see what the warranty of the parts would be.
The equipment itself.
So then the action tonight then would be to follow up. You know, these are the action items to follow up because, you know, we just brought it to the board.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, I think it's an opportunity ultimately, regardless of how we
Get
go with
linked
it.
up with the town.
Yeah, that's a big deal actually, to be able to sync with the town as well. Yeah,
And the sewer has the capital for these sorts of improvements and
Mhm.
hopefully in the end, it saves us, Jason, you know better than any, how much time from the crew this would save to focus on other things.
Or expense, if we miss something.
Yeah.
And then time goes by, it's more expensive to fix it.
that's a good point.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah, yes,
Robert 47 Washington Avenue. Is it my understanding that there's an initial cost for installation of equipment to allow the monitoring and then an annual fee that the village would be charged? Is that correct?
Yes.
that's what we
So
were.
why wouldn't we require 75 in a row to install the equipment before we accept dedication of the pump station? So the taxpayers don't incur that additional expense.
We
We
are,
are,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
we're just talking the older.
the amount,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what wasn't in the packet was an offer to purchase the,
Wood Creek.
Wood Creek. And the reason why it wasn't duplicated is because 75 Monroe is picking up that cost.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, Scott, anything else to add for us before we?
No, I think that's it. I think the warranty question is a good question and, you know, it may be, depending on how this goes, you may want to meet with the manufacturer's representative and get more details from him that really are not at my fingertips, but, I think that your questions are very valid.
Well, thank you for bringing this to the board too. Did you want to add something, Dave?
I did.
Dave Marshall.
This for Scott. Scott, this is Dave Marshall again. If we're good with pumps, I did just want to catch his attention on the Southwood change order. I don't know if he has any input on that at all, or should have any input on that.
Hmm,
Okay, never
I
mind.
mean, he
Scott,
hasn't been a party.
yeah, thank you.
He's aware of the project,
Yeah.
but he's not.
Okay.
no.
Okay,
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks so
take
much.
care.
You have a
Good
good.
night.
Okay.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, we will. Forgot. I just wanted Scott to be able to move on. Yeah, we started the agenda first with our village engineer, because as I said, he had another commitment. But I'm gonna just circle back if there's any public comment.
I'm here after reading trustee Wilkes's updates.
Could you give your name and
Yes.
address?
So my name is Alexandra Ward. I live at 21 Maple Street, a little blue house on the corner of South and Maple. And I'm here, I took a couple of notes because my brain is a little fried. Okay, so what I wanted to say was, I grew up in Brighton, but for most of the past 15 years, I have lived in Moscow, New York, the city of Rochester, big cities, right? I'm an avid cyclist, as is my husband, and we bike with our kids a lot. But we're also pedestrians, that's why we moved to the village. And I have seen some crazy things at that little intersection that are pretty worrying. My watch tells me all the time that I'm stressed when I'm playing with my kids outside because I'm trying to keep them from running in to the street. So the stop sign, I'm very grateful that there's a stop sign at Maple and South. The speed limit I know is technically 20, however, I was actually trying to count this morning how many cars I saw blowing the stop sign or going over 30. And I switched and started counting how many cars actually went 20 and stopped because the numbers got still flopped. So most people don't go 20 because they don't know and that they're going so fast. And that stop sign seems like a nice suggestion that nobody follows. So nobody's a bad person that drives down south, but most of them are bad drivers. So,
Welcome to the village.
but I think so the reason I want to come was, whatever, as a community, I guess I think that we can facilitate good behavior. And I don't know, I'm also a teacher, so I'm into facilitating, but there are some things that I think the village can do, and I understand it's too late for a capital project on south. We're really excited for the pavement to be smooth, but that means cars will go faster. So it seems like there's an opportunity to do some lighter non-capital projects, right? If it's In the city of Rochester recently, there have been some murals on the ground, at intersections that have been shown to do some traffic calming. It's too late for bulb outs, but, we could do like plastic pylons that could be removed when it comes snow season. And this again, and then this segues into bike safety. Again, I bike a lot with my two kids until recently. And both my husband and I commuted and commute to work, like we're on our bikes a lot. We never wear spandex, we don't go out on Saturday mornings at 8, like we're city folk on bikes, right? We're not Saturday morning folk, and we love the Saturday morning folk, but that's not us. And you shouldn't have to wear spandex to feel confident on the roads in Pittsburgh. And there's a couple of pretty gnarly intersections. Let's say you're on the canal and you decide you want a cup of coffee and you need to get off and go to Village Bakery. Oh my goodness gracious, like you would have to go through 4 lanes. Anyway, I know I'm timing myself, I'm almost done. So there's some things on, there are things that we can do that are not capital projects, and it would be great to facilitate that, because at the end of the day, the scooters on the sidewalks, the 15-year-old on that fast bike, all of that, they're on the sidewalks because there isn't good infrastructure for them on the roads, and the roads aren't safe because people are going too fast. So if we don't plan for multimodal transportation, we are inevitably planning for dangerous situations for pedestrians and everybody else. Okay.
Thank you, and I think everybody in this room agrees with you. It's interesting because have been talking about, we have an active transportation plan that was put into effect jointly with the town, how many years ago, maybe 6, 7?
Yeah.
6, was it? Yeah. Time to revisit things.
Yeah.
Let's really see where the heck we are now. I also think things changed a lot after COVID, you know, I really do. And so I mean, I live on South Main, nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. So we
can
hear
all
you.
Lemonade on each other's porches and do some time.
Well, we're probably gonna hold some resident workshops to let's revisit this and let's take a look at what has been done, where is it now, and what can we look at, you know, to implement, you know, quick things like, you know, say maybe just a few easy things and other things that are far more significant. And
I
then
taught in Pittsburgh schools, but I taught in the city and elsewhere, and what I've noticed is there's a lack of, in the city, I had bike educators come into 5th grade classrooms to teach the laws, right? It's illegal for a 14-year-old to be honest, done, right? But they don't know that.
That's an excellent point to bring up.
So I would be happy, like I am pretty in with a lot of teachers, and I would be happy to help develop like an education program for that.
And we would love to, we also have reached out to the sheriff's department and they're willing to really work with us on bike safety and what that really looks like. Also, I'd like to do an event where maybe we actually even give out bike bells.
And
I was nearly hit the other day walking back from church and I went to turn around. There was a bicyclist right next to me who never said a word.
Yeah, well, Monroe County will also give out, it's illegal for a bike not to have front, back,
Yeah.
belt and helmet. If
Yeah.
you're 13 and under, and Monroe County will come into classrooms and
Yes.
give out free helmets. And they sometimes have lights, I know. Anyway.
I know that was in conjunction with the sheriff's office, because that was part of our discussion, so
And they
thank
make
you.
great, they do
Yeah.
great PowerPoint, it's funny.
Yeah.
Kids practice, and they do their arms, it's great.
I also want to let you know that Trustee Wilkes is going to be presenting this exact, like at the 5th one on so maybe you should,
It's on-
maybe
it's on-
come and
it's on the agenda.
stay and listen to
Or
it.
you can zoom in, Elisa, but yeah, I mean, we're so interested in this.
Yeah, thank you though, thanks for your input.
You know, appreciate it. Thank you. Any other comment?
Before we see what from the angle, there's a lot of dead trees around the village, as you're aware of. There's one that I think is a hazard that probably needs to come down, and you may not be aware of it, and it's regulates the release. That is 20 Lincoln Avenue, in front of Dorothy Weisberger's house. It's a big Norway
Yeah.
maple. It's got frass, a lot of frass at
Yeah.
the bottom. There's a deep crotch, and I believe the interior is hollow. And that's such a big tree, if it fell, it would be a huge challenge.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been identified. It's on our list. Yeah, thanks so much for that. Any other comments? Anybody online?
We have 3 people online and
Well, to comment.
no comments.
Okay.
I
Okay.
figured that was the next question.
Oh, that's all.
Thank you.
That's true. There we go. Okay. Next up, Eagle Scout Service Projects, Luca Hill. Zooming, anything? No, okay. Well,
That's exciting.
I know, I know.
How about Riker?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna. Because I'm with me, yeah. So we're fortunate to have another scout here tonight. We have Riker, Deej. Yep, yeah, do you want to come on up? You guys come on up, yeah. We don't bite, not usually. Yep, yeah, we can pull up chairs, you know. And you did finally get the outline of the building?
Yes.
Okay, a little. Yeah, yeah, so you haven't, you're working on your Eagle Scout badge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on what you'd like to do?
Okay, so. My, that's it. My Eagle Scout project that I'd like to do, is I'd like to redesign all the plants, and plant pollinators throughout the village in select areas and around the village hall. And I would like to, do this because yeah, of pollinator corridor. And I
Yeah,
think, I think it would be beneficial because it would, first of all, it looks nice. Second of all,
that's true. We have a
it's
set.
good for, it attracts, butterflies, bees and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and so it just helps in with nature.
Yeah, creates the habitat,
Yeah,
you know, especially for migrating butterflies. You know, because we had, I was fortunate to have a meeting with you folks. And, you know, what's exciting about that is, you know, butterflies and birds, they don't know any yard boundaries or anything. They just want a quarter. They just want to go from one plant to another. So this is a wonderful opportunity, I think,
so.
you know,
so-
for a community.
So what I've started doing is I've started, researching where, like certain places where I can get plants and like,
Great, okay.
still working out on some stuff, but like. I've been comparing pricing, trying to figure out if there's reduced pricing options that places can offer.
Yeah,
And then I'm gonna see like what
put a package together
like,
type of
what
thing.
will go where.
Yeah.
And like how much, like how many
Mhm.
plants I should get.
Sure.
And
So a little bit of research involved there
Yeah.
and kind of pulling it together and putting your plan together with all the native plants and the
yeah,
pollinators.
I'm still waiting on some people to
Mhm.
respond, but I've checked out some places. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, when we met, we have a gardener starting next week who has a strong background as well. And, you know, I'm a master gardener, you know, willing to help with, you know, things and help you sort some things out always. And we also have a number of other master gardeners in the village that we can tap into. And in fact, one of them is on our climate smart committee. And I know she'd be happy to help in any way. So you're looking at, you know, filling out around our building here, our
Yeah.
beautiful village hall, if I'm correct, with some nice pollinators,
Yeah.
which is nice because next year is the sesquicentennial, which is the 250th birthday for the United States. And so it'd be nice to kind of have a little bit pumped up here at Village Hall. And then there's a few other like little pocket park areas
Yeah,
as well, so.
Near what is it, Church Street and
Mhm.
in Maine,
Yeah,
and then.
Yeah.
Like little areas where there's like already, like.
maybe a little
Like
something and,
a part of the garden, if
okay,
you just like, you know, just fix it up.
Yeah. yeah,
There's also that, like, one on the corner of Washington and Maine.
Yeah, that's what I was
mhm,
gonna say that, yeah.
yeah, yeah, there's opportunities here, so. Any comments or thoughts from the board?
Anytime there are pollinators, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, thanks for that. We're very excited. Yeah, we're very excited to see what you have to bring to us.
Yeah, I think it sounds great, so,
Thank you.
yeah, and you know, as you move forward, if there's anything, as I said, that we can do to support you, and I know DPW, if there's anything. You know, they know a lot about all of our little pocket parks and areas and what's
Yeah.
planted and, you know, anything like that. So I think it sounds great. So we have the big okay from the board?
Okay with that?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you for all your work on that.
You're gonna need the motion on that.
Yeah, we do need a motion,
So
don't
do
we, because we're
we-
getting gardens, yeah.
But we don't have any like documented like locations or anything. Is he gonna bring that back?
Do you want to just maybe come back with a little bit more
Yeah.
detail?
Yeah.
Because then we'll make the motion,
Yeah.
then it'll be something.
Yeah, yeah,
You
just
know.
kind of, yeah, give us a little bit.
Yeah,
idea.
but we're all excited, so we say go team.
Thank you.
All right, hey, thanks so much for coming in. It's really nice. It's gonna be really great. Okey doke. Oh, good, we can go right in the public hearing. Okay, next up is our public hearing for the special permit application for 50 State Street. Building G. Come on up. Here, grab chairs, grab chairs. Good to see you. Welcome back. How are you? Right.
You know us already, but my name is Jorge Chavez and this is my wife there. We're here for a public tour. As you mentioned, we are requesting a special permit to prepare and offer food at our brewery. We don't really exactly know what the process is, so I can comply with anything you need. I got sketches of the kitchen and equipment that will be there. Besides that,
I have a question for you. Did you ever get any more information about the fire lane issue with the seating outside? Did you guys ever hear anything more
yes, I
about that?
talked to the fire chief,
Okay,
well, today, did not talk to him, I emailed,
uh-huh,
and he said that if Steve, the fire
Mhm.
chief,
Uh-huh.
was okay with it, he was.
Yeah,
So that's, I did not get any confirmation,
Okay.
anything else, but.
well, the confirmation is if our fire marshal
Yeah.
agrees that it's not a, you
Yes,
know,
good,
that's it.
okay, thank you for that.
Yeah,
That was my only question.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
my only other question was seeing the images of the actual kind of way the food would be prepared, so that's,
yeah, we don't.
In
have
there?
that.
Yep, that's in here.
yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All equipment.
Oh, I'm not- I don't
locations,
have-
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're-
I've got the online packet. I
Yeah.
don't have that. I couldn't download
yes, here, you
it.
can,
Equipment needs to be placed.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
I'm-
right here.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or door that we're used to going in, is right there.
Yep.
So now, this,
Mhm,
located in
mhm.
the actual freezer holding area
Wow,
is back here. So freezer would be right there.
this is exciting.
Yeah.
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 Excellent. Any other questions, Dave? Anything? Motion?
Oh, yeah, so I make a motion to approve the special permit.
Wait.
Wait,
No, we gotta
wait,
open the
wait,
public
wait,
We have to open.
Sorry, make
Yeah.
a motion to open public hearing.
I second.
Roll call, please.
wait. Okay, trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Public hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to comment on the application before us? And is there anybody online who wishes to comment?
Oh, there is a hand raised.
Oh, there's.
Oh, wait, we have,
Right.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Chief Powers, 8 Sutherland, and I just say I really think it's a great idea that they're add food to the house, and I support that concept.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody on?
Yeah, hopefully it's good with that.
I should comment on the village resident. And they have been a good customer.
You can always
comment.
comment.
Sure you can, you can comment.
I just want to talk about a public hearing and our meetings. Our meetings are open to anybody, absolutely anybody. And in public comment, anybody can comment whether you're a resident or not.
Yeah.
So you're always welcome.
Even
Everybody can.
better.
Even if you're a
You're
Rochester
still a
resident.
villager in our hearts. Okay,
Anyone can comment.
Yeah.
Public hearing.
Yeah.
Anyone can
okay.
Is there somebody?
Support.
Great.
Thank you.
Is there somebody online?
Yep. Ms. Diaz, you're able to speak.
Hi, this is Emily Diaz at 81 South Street. I just wanted to say that I'm really excited that Copperleaf is reopening. It's one of our favorite spots, and it's even more exciting with the addition of food. And I'm really excited that it's not Mediterranean food. So we have more diversity of options in the village. So can't wait to see you guys up and running.
Thank you for that.
Oh, thanks for the comment, Emily. Okay, is there anyone else? Okay. I make a motion, we close the public hearing. Is there a
A
second?
second?
Sorry, writing. Trustee Wills.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the hearing's now closed. It comes back to the board for any questions or further discussion. I think we're all hungry. Okay, so a motion.
Now I make a motion to approve the special permit for the new Copperleaf.
I second.
Is there going to be a condition about the onsite seating being subject to fire marshal approval?
What you said.
As noted. Which is
Noted.
Amending a motion.
amending
So,
the
as
motion
amended.
as amended.
Yes, Dorothea.
Real quick, does this need seeker?
And Jeff, do we need to go through the restaurant?
You certainly will at some point from their findings.
Right. So should we do that before we vote here?
But that will-
No,
We have a motion.
It could be.
one otherwise
wanna-
we generally do it.
We needed to do it for any kind of situation.
Okay.
So certainly you could do it now and be done.
Do you want to blow through it now and be done? Or do we
Sure,
want to?
Sure.
Sure,
I'm just,
let's check that box.
yeah, let's just hammer it out. Okay, so love to have you, but we're just gonna make sure we hit all the special permit items that were in the packet and then we can be done to Jeff's point. So is it in accordance with the village's comprehensive plan? Yes, restaurant is allowed in this district, in the MDVC, and it is by special permit. I think it's all in accordance. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, local restrictions, the proposed site shall be located more than 100 feet from any residentially zoned or used property or be situated so that it may be demonstrated that existing or proposed features of the site would mitigate any potential adverse effect or nuisance to residential property. In that it was a brewery before, you're adding food, the parking is consistent, there's no additional encroachment, I don't believe, on the local residents. Or insofar as there maybe it's generally that site plan having that impact already. I'm comfortable with this. Everybody else agree?
Yes.
Operational restrictions, no restaurant shall be permitted that is determined by the reviewing board to be a hazard to public safety welfare. You're not. Alter the character of the neighborhood. You're not. Include fast food, drive-through, operate in any manner as a nightclub. You're not. Just kind of going through these quick. Everybody chime in if you feel like it. Cause a traffic hazard or unsafe conditions for motorists or pedestrians. We checked that with the fire department. And Steve's comments, damage sensitive views, landscape, natural features, not doing that. Due to location or proximity to resident, would result in nuisances or excess negative impact that may not be feasible. Based on your hours of operation, the fact that the dumpster is where the dumpster is. I would simply ask, though, I'm not going to suggest it be a condition, that you try to be mindful to the noise and how you utilize that dumpster, particularly later in the evenings, you know, as it gets
With
dark,
neighbors.
right? You have neighbors and just extending that respect, though, I don't think we have to add a condition, you can't use it, you know, after a certain hour, but that would be my comment there. Failure to provide adequate parking and support the proposed use without causing a parking shortage, not the case. There's limited capacity within the restaurant slash brewery. So additional application requirements, a complete copy of any application filed with or licensed in New York State for the liquor, you'll have to do that. A waste management plan shall be required, that's embedded in your application. Then we get into some other special permit conditions. They're the same as what I just went through. Does anybody have any additional comments?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the box is checked. We have a motion and a second.
Okay, trustee Co.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye,
Motion passes.
congratulations.
Welcome.
Thank
We look
you.
forward to seeing you guys open. Thank
So
you.
much luck.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
Yeah,
So when are you opening?
yeah.
My daughter thinks we can close will be legalized next week.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
if that happens, we'll be starting doing next week.
Great.
If that happens, it all depends on the.
Well, yeah.
So,
But soon, that's
soon,
great,
yes.
okay.
Just find some wood around here and knock on it.
That's right, not gonna.
Everywhere.
I know.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Next up, we have a public hearing to amend the local law, excuse me, on the rental registry. And, yep, we have that amendments that's from last time. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Josh.
Any, this is kind of what we worked on last time, so
I don't have anything.
any additional?
Yeah, I had sent an email around earlier. Still has the same. points. So just since Jeff, we're taking this potentially to public hearing. Like this was for
This is.
or sorry,
Public
it is
hearing.
a public hearing, whatever. So for efficiency's sake though, we had talked about other adjustments to this same chapter. And so I was just asking if, when, where we wanted to do that.
Can't do it now.
Yeah, bring it up the next, put it on the
Yeah,
agenda for the next one if you want.
agenda.
We can't do it now. but
Yeah.
We're in a
Are
public
you
hearing.
speaking to the issue of holding off on those until you get others done? Is that what you're thinking about?
I don't know, it seems inefficient to make piecemeal adjustments here to
May I ask what other adjustments are there?
Yeah.
the flipping open signs.
No, that's
No,
not.
that's a whole different.
This is rental registry.
This is
Oh,
rental registry.
I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah.
Don't listen to
We're on number, we're on number.
So I have nothing more to
That's
say.
a topic everybody's anxious to get to.
So I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for the rental registry law.
Second,
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay. Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, the public hearing is now open on the amendments to the local law for the rental registry. Is there anyone wishing to comment? Anyone online?
Make a motion to close the public hearing for the rental registry law.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Trustee Coe.
aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Before one of us makes the motion to move this thing forward, I just wanted to reiterate to the public and anybody here what we're doing. We have a rental registry that at the outset, we had Steve go into basically every rental and confirm that everything was done. We've since amended it to where now the property owner essentially signs an affidavit saying, I've got all these things done. And so now the risk is essentially, the liability is on the property owner and they're attesting to the fact that these things are done rather than on Steve's ability to determine that they were done, in which case we assume some degree of liability. Or at least that was the consideration. So this is a much cleaner structure. It does put that onto the property owner, and it also allows for less invasion into the home of the renter of the tenant. So I'm firmly in favor of this.
Wait,
Okay,
okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the local law.
Speaker.
No.
He's trying to be on top of this.
I know you are. It's very
Like it.
impressive.
Yeah.
Both of you. It always is.
I
I-
just.
When in doubt, ask about seeker. That's our mantra.
I second.
What, LWRP?
Let's keep going. Okay.
Okay, all right. Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Hi,
Motion passed.
okay. Moving along.
Oh, we got the interview list.
Mhm.
Oh, we're doing that before the lights.
It's,
Next up, we have the intermunicipal agreement with the town and the fire department, and this is pursuant to the Pittsburgh Fire Department purchased the Bank of America property with that parking lot, and so they're interested in working with the town and the village to establish a municipal lot similar to the one that's behind Breed. That lot is managed by the town and the village. So this is sort of where we are right now.
the agreement is on the table.
Yeah, do you have a copy of it, a hard copy?
When we last spoke about this, I know we were trying to get this to match with the new kind of one. You're looking over at.
He's the guy to answer.
To match with the new wine bars kind of agreement across, like that parking lot goes across.
No, no.
No, this is about matching it up with the
Breed.
agreement
Yeah.
we've had in place for years with
With Breed.
Breed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no,
also, no, I get.
But
what
not,
you're-
there's nothing on the table about that other lot.
Yeah,
Not to
nothing.
be discussed publicly at this point. So,
Yeah,
Dan?
Yeah.
Know where you're going? Yeah, so this is an agreement for the Bank of America lot that's similar
Only.
to the
Okay, go
Breed
ahead.
agreement. Yeah.
So.
So we're
where
gonna
this is-
chime in on this.
It is. The fire department drew this lease. I looked it over, they had a meeting of their board. They made a couple amendments and approved it with those amendments. The amendments never found their way back to the fire department. So. I would just like to pull it all together so that. They get what they want from the fire department, and there's not a lot in here that's anything to worry about. The other thing that I want to accomplish is an intermunicipal agreement in the town and the village about who's doing what with regard to the maintenance and that stuff. Because if we're gonna do it, and I think we would use as a model of what we've done with the town for the Brady lot. So I'd like to put that together so I can just forward it to the town attorney
Mhm.
and accomplish the town's changes with the fire department, so all documents can get signed.
Great.
So our action tonight would be, to direct you to,
To draft an additional intermunicipal agreement between us and the town about what our responsibilities are for maintenance on that.
so it's clarified.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the Breed
Mhm.
forms.
I'd also like to see, because it lays this out, that there's certain parking spots that are gonna be public and then certain that are gonna be saved for just the fire district, and I don't know if there's anything mapped out for what that is. And how much. Well, if you look at,
You got a map, should be a map.
there's a map, it doesn't say, because it says
Right.
here,
What makes me think this?
it doesn't tell you exactly. It
Like
says-
the
yeah.
specific area.
Use of property, yes, it says reasonably determined by the fire department, part of it, all of this lot may be closed to the public from time to time. Then it also says the party shall use the property only as a public parking lot for use by the general public. So it's, doesn't say that every space is, we just want to make sure that that's the case, that they're not gonna close up some. And then the timing too, because I know that they had talked about during the time when it's busy in the fire department, that they would keep some of those spaces. So I just would like to know what their
Well, they have
thoughts
certain
are.
events sometimes, I think, too.
More
Why don't
of
we
a
circle
day-to-day.
back? I can circle back with the,
Okay.
great,
Yeah,
okay.
just to
With the
give us an
district
idea of
chief,
what-
yeah,
What restrictions
give them
we
a
have.
call.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be good to see it on.
yeah.
From the way I read it, they're not gonna have dedicated spots that are closed, but rather periodic.
They're just,
That's what I thought,
Yeah.
but maybe just to circle back and make
yeah,
sure.
just make sure that they're not.
This is pretty.
Yeah,
All right.
and I think they'll wanna keep it that way, but it doesn't seem like anything.
I'd like an example of what they,
Yeah,
in the lease, just so.
right.
Sure.
Just to be safe.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, thank you.
Did I place this on the next agenda? For someone else?
Nice to do that work.
You're authorized.
Oh,
By me.
Need a motion.
Motion.
Make a motion to authorize Jeff to do that work.
That's
You know-
what Roger.
You know what that is.
Okay, is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay,
Roll call.
trustee Wiltz.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Bye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Should I put it on the September agenda?
Sure.
Yeah, does that work for you, Jeff?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Worst case, we pull it if we're not done.
Yeah, at least we've got it moving
But,
forward.
Yeah, it's great to see the beginnings of this document. It's really nice.
Yeah. I
Um,
think so, too. Okay, so next up, setting the public hearing on the amendment for the code on lighted village signage.
Yeah, so that's kind of mine. I just want to give the public a little background. I expressed about 2 months ago that there were some internally lit signs popping up all over the village. Primarily, the ones that you can recognize are those open, flashing open signs, or even the stable open signs. And I just remember as a chair for HPP years ago, we would never approve any internally lit signs in the windows. So when I went to our building inspector, it looked like I had a different interpretation of the code and so did he. So I just thought that the board needed to take a look at that so that we can clarify what is actually appropriate for our village. So why is this important? So we're a proud certified historic district. We follow national preservation guidelines by the Secretary of Interiors, which discourage internally illuminated signs in historic districts. Signage should always complement the historic character of a building. There should never be kind of a sensory overload or a distraction from architecturally significant buildings and structures. Internally lit signs have a sense of being modern, commercial in appearance, and classes with traditional history. So what defines an internally lit or self-illuminated signs? I think that's what we had a problem with, Steve and I. So looking this up, it distinctly describes it as signs that have a light source built inside the sign structure, causing the face to glow from within. They're also known as backlit signs or light box signs. Sign often is made of translucent material that allows light to shine through. So in our code, we have distinctly approving signs that are externally lit with like goose lamps or some kind of externally lit abilities so signs can be lit up. So that's kind of where we came from on this. And Jeff so wonderfully took our existing code and made some changes to it, which is in our packet. And I think I don't need to read those changes, but that's kind of, I'm just gonna open it up. I saw the changes and I think that looks good.
Yeah, and another thing too is like when the code was written, technology's changed. So now there's like, diodes and LEDs. And so there's other things that we wanted to sort of bring back and take a look at. And, the impact really on essentially the historic character of our village. So that was another component that we were looking at as well. Yeah. So any other comments from the board on the legislation?
Yeah, I have, go ahead.
No, you got it. I'm
Okay.
gonna save my email question that was not answered.
So my question's on the very last element of this code update, which is signs permitted in the LOR district. So the way the code is currently written, it's basically sign permitted in a non-residential zone is subject to all these requirements. And then it had this additional element where it said signs permitted in the R5 district or R4 district. And sorry, I just went off topic. And what they did after that is this had more to do with a nameplate on a house, for example. And it was one nameplate per use shall be permitted, but shall not require a permit as herein provided. The square footage of said nameplate shall not exceed 1 square foot. Said nameplate shall be used for the identification of a profession or business conducted on the premises. This was specifically within a residential district. Such nameplate shall be attached flat or to the wall structure. So that 168-9 was a code that was specific for signs in residential districts. And by changing the titling to signs permitted in the LOR district, we essentially remove any sign ordinance in a residential district. You eliminate some comment. So I think it has to be signs permitted in any residential district. That could be the LOR or the R5, right? That makes sense?
Yeah, it's the very last.
He's effectively saying that by removing the R4 note, like any comment about R4, you then create the wild west in the residential.
Have an R4 district in.
No, correct, R5 now, right? Well, there's R5.
R4 became LOR.
That's why it's crossed
It's
out.
just off.
All right,
So
so,
R4 doesn't exist.
Right.
So that's why you're seeing the new language.
To the new.
The more
It's
recent.
ready,
So-
right, that
well,
changed.
we have limited density residential, LDR, we have medium density residential, MDR, we have residential R5, which is 75 Monroe. and we have limited office residential. I
Mhm.
think the titling of that 168-9 has to be all 4 of those. Otherwise, you eliminate the ability to have a profession sign on your residential property wherein it's permitted, right? Because so that one.
You're saying otherwise it's only applies to.
I'm missing the rest of it.
Is that what you're saying?
168, the
Yeah, I don't-
168-9.
We don't have any of it.
It was just the code change.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just.
So the very
drafting
last
initial
one, the very
change.
last one, 168-9
Yep, we're
used to
seeing
say
that.
R,
Right.
used to say R4, which was the entirety of the residential districts, right? And it basically said you can have a little sign that says, I'm a doctor, I'm an acupuncturist, or whatever it may be, no more than 1 square foot. By eliminating the R4 and just putting LOR, you
Because
eliminate,
it's been divided into other districts.
that's right.
Yeah.
You then essentially don't have a code for low density residential, medium density residential, or the R5, which is 75 and
Now I
above.
see where you're going.
So you have to have all 4 of those be listed. So that's why I think what you say is,
And let's wait for Jeff. He's
Yeah.
getting the code book.
He's getting the code book.
He's
So-
bringing in the big gun.
what I would suggest is that we have that say residential districts.
Oh, he's not getting the code. Oh, you did get the code.
Yeah,
Right.
hidden.
And so if 168-9 says,
Let's just.
Hang on.
Yep.
Put the code. She's going to 168-9.
so the very last part should say signs permitted in any residential district. And then no matter how we create residential districts now or in the future, that
It covers
subsequent
it.
covers it.
It's like a blanket
That's right.
statement.
That's right.
So if it's, doctor's office.
So we have.
So
yeah,
change the LOR to any residential district.
in any residential district, not proper, but, and at least that's my initial thought.
Jeff, what do you think?
He's looking.
Keep looking.
And well, just looking, there is a public comment. If you-
Oh. We have a public comment. Yeah. Could name an address.
Around
please.
47 Washington Avenue. When we were updating the code and, we were allowing home professional uses, there was a discussion about the restriction, didn't allow signage. But that was one of the restrictions on most residential districts. The professional signs are only allowed in the LOR. That's the reason it is the way it is in the code right now.
Ah,
Okay.
so there
Yeah,
is.
We could look at it.
Thank you. In looking at the use list for the residential districts, limited LDR, medium density MDR, and LOR, home occupation is permitted in all 4.
Right, the home occupation, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, go ahead.
Home occupation is not to have any indicia.
Not meant,
There should be no indication that there is a business operating at that site.
Right.
okay, so let's go down then. and-
So the lack of signage does not preclude you from having this.
No,
You just
Okay,
can't put a sign, you can't put a
So,
1-foot
the
sign.
lack of signage is in line with the
You
general.
know.
okay.
Exactly.
So
It's so weird because there's a generation-
So I'm seeing where you're going. So in the LOR, permitted use is office administrative or professional. There is in the LOR, special permits for daycare, art studio, repair, service, personal items, let's say you're an appliance repair person. But the only, so a bed and breakfast, for example, has a special permit, and that would potentially be signage.
There's allowed by the special permit.
Shouldn't that district though be included in the 168-9? Or would the special permit, would they have to request it as part of the
Right,
special?
part of the
permit?
special permit.
Okay, so then the other elements are place of worship, special permit, public park, playground, school, public, private, special permit. And then accessory use or structure. Okay, so. Thank you for clarifying. What I think I'm hearing is it's only the LOR or
Only applicable to the element.
only applicable to the LOR, so the absence of the others doesn't matter at all.
Right.
Okay,
We've been
Thank you.
excluded.
Okay,
Okay,
back to my question.
yeah, David, trustee Wilk has a question. Yes.
So if we're gonna do this where we're modifying chapter 168, shouldn't we, wasn't there at some point, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we say we want to put some explicit language in there about flip signs and stuff like that?
And so this is how I understand. And I'm certainly could be entirely wrong about this.
I thought this was the open signs, internally lighted signs were a standalone issue.
Yes,
That's how we
That
initially
this
looked at it.
forum wanted to address.
yes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
In addition, floating around out there is another issue about what kind of signage makes sense, a la the real estate signs. Should they be there at all? Well, first of all, let's talk about the real estate signs. Now they cannot be internally lit, right? But they shouldn't be there at all, because they are in fact signs,
Mhm.
and they are illegal signs under our current sign.
Mhm.
So. And I don't think, despite Lisa's statement to the HPV, and I still don't think they're quite clear on what this board wants, and what I think this board wants is we're getting rid of internally lit signs. They're not gonna happen. But think about the other signage you see around the village, particularly real estate signs, which may not be in conformity with our sign code, but would we like it to be? Or would we like it not to be? And are there any other kinds of signs that as you go around the village, you think should not be?
Mhm.
In terms of it being a preservation historic district or historic preservation district, I don't want to say it.
Because I think there's signage that's happening in the village currently that is not to code. For instance, there's lots of pasted up signs on windows that actually are not in code.
Right, they're not-
Currently, yeah, so they're, right, they're not legal, but we're seeing them pop up all over. So I guess we
Well,
have to.
I think the board said to itself or yourselves, before we make any changes of that nature, shouldn't we decide, or should we find out what the HPV thinks from an historic perspective?
So they got back to us.
I think where we are.
I don't think we specifically asked them about the other signage per se in windows. I think,
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
It's just gonna.
I don't think we
Wait,
specifically
wait.
asked them about that. I think that we as a board need to go back to the code that's current and see, does it describe that right there, then and there already? And if so, then we need to figure out whether we think we should change it.
So that's my point, is that I think in the existing code, it does not explicitly talk about some of those things, right?
No,
I think it may.
but if it's not a permitted sign in the code, it's an illegal sign.
Right, so it should be on.
So here's my comment on all this. We know we're not gonna allow internally lit signs. It doesn't matter what the HPV says in response to
Right,
our
I
question
agree.
for information. We know today that we don't want internally lit signage. That's what this code
That's
here
what this
does.
is, that's what
So
it
that, this is easy. We
Right.
all, I think, agree with that. The second part, which is the harder part, which we asked the HPV for comment on,
Mhm.
was could you consider what is historical signage and if our code fits with that, or maybe we're just asking for some general comments on historical signage, and then we can look at that, we can have our own view, and we can say, okay, does our code fit what?
That's what I thought we were.
That's what I think we're doing.
Right, and I don't think
So,
that
Mayor, you
historic
and I are on the
signage
same-
falls under the paper things in windows. I don't think that historic preservation. Yeah, but I don't really
I
think
think
that
that-
historic preservation
I think
really,
that's pretty easy stuff that we can work on.
yeah, I don't think HPV
And not
needs
have
to comment on whether we can have signs on
So
the window.
I agree with that.
Hang on one second.
Okay.
So to that, I mean, if we're gonna continue to go to these public comment, put this to public hearing, it just doesn't seem as efficient. We should just, as a group, do some of the low hanging fruit.
And this is low hanging right here.
Right, here's low
This is
hanging.
low hanging.
We
This
can
is an
set a
easy
public
one,
hearing
right.
and we can move it forward.
Because I think
And
this
we
is
can
the most-
still look at all the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
You know.
think it's very efficient.
I understood.
I just had one more comment.
Sure.
And I think the principle that you want to make out is embodied in the comprehensive plan and is fundamental to traditional planning and traditional walkable business districts. Is you want to keep the storefronts transparent so you can see from the sidewalk what's happening inside. And the problem with the real estate signs, it's a screen that shuts that off on that level. So it's basically an opaque wall instead of a transparent storefront. And the opposite is book culture, which is the epitome of what you want on Main Street because it creates interest and fosters business.
Thank you. Okay, so, I agree with where you were going with, I mean, that's what I thought we had
Mhm.
discussed, the larger stuff, sort of the. That we may want to have HPV weigh in on, but this is, I really don't know, hanging
Yeah,
fruit.
let's just get
Here we
this done.
are, it makes sense, we're in agreement in terms of how this has been drafted, and we thank you, Jeff. And now it's a motion whether or not to move it to a public hearing.
So I'd like to make a motion to move this local law to public hearing. Do I have a second?
You need
You need to say
to put the
that.
date,
Oh, the date of
September 9th at 6 p.m.
September 9th at 6 p.m.
I'll second.
Okay, trustee Wilkes,
Aye.
there you go. Trustee Coe,
Hi.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
All right, so now we're moving on to bicycle, pedestrian, and sidewalks.
And we're-
Yes.
we're-
Just because I don't think we should leave science alone for a while, I'm kidding.
Well,
But I think the board should decide if it can do this work on its own in terms of cleaning up the rest of the code, whether it needs anything from HPV.
Why don't we really, as a board, start out with taking the big look at it?
Take a look at it.
And then we can make that decision. I don't know that we need to make that decision this evening,
I
but
agree.
I think we need to circle back for sure, because we've had this
And I
discussion.
think what we should do is set milestones, because I don't want this
Mhm.
to keep pushed forever.
My only comment is I know nothing about signage historically at all. And so the reason why I advocated for reaching out to the HPV was to have comments from them as to what the right sort of view shed signage, what types of options may we want to consider that we currently don't, or just some general comments. I think it'd be great to have either Historic Pittsburgh, the HPV, other members of the community who may know something about signage, give presentations to us, because I don't know how to make these decisions
Mhm.
to get
Mhm.
something historical. I do agree with a public comment about how you look into the buildings and keeping the glass clean
Mhm.
and agree that the bookstore is a phenomenal.
But Dave, I think
example.
But what you're saying is, and I agree with you, what's happening in historic preservation with signage in general is doing fine. I don't think that's an issue at all. I think that they're doing great. I think it's the other little extraneous stuff that we could totally understand, like hanging stuff in windows, the open and close signs, things. I think we can take a look at that
I
stuff.
think we could start out with that, and then,
Yeah.
of course, we
We
should
can
always reach out to, people that have, the backgrounds for additional
When
depth.
it's appropriate.
Yeah,
So
but
the
we
reason,
can start diving in.
Yeah.
I don't think,
Yeah.
we're
The
that.
simple stuff, like that's not, just,
Yeah.
preservation.
this is to trustee Wilkes' comment, this was super low hanging fruit. I think the rest, we try to do it all as one law.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yep.
At this
We
point,
do it at one
Totally agree.
time,
right, at this
Totally
point, we
agree.
don't go A, B,
Totally
C,
agree.
D.
because we're doing two piecemeal.
Mhm.
And so the reason why, talking about historical preservation, one of the things that I don't know has a little bit to do with perpendicular versus parallel signs, right? I don't know the historical relative.
That is appropriate for HPV. Yes, I
And
agree.
so I want somebody to give me that understanding.
Yeah, and also our village historian can help,
Yeah,
just in terms of identifying what
What are the
really
communities that
typical.
And if we want to do it publicly, we want to do it privately through email, just for me to build that knowledge would be great.
we can do both.
Okay.
Okay.
You have a comment?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Maria.
Maria Finette, and are we not gonna have any public comments like that on this planning issue?
I'm sorry,
We're gonna do a public hearing.
we're doing a public hearing. We set the date for the public hearing.
Comment now.
No, we'll take it at the public hearing,
Okay.
for sure. Or you can always write us or call us or cup of coffee. Sure.
Is there any action item the board wants we need to set up for the future work on this?
I say maybe have us look at the sign ordinance on our own and see if there's anything that,
And let's set a deadline on that.
Yeah, we need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
I-
milestones.
Are you looking to have it maybe on an October agenda?
Sure.
Yeah, let's shoot for
Yeah.
October, just because I
Yeah.
know September's gonna fill up.
So bicycle and pedestrian safety. We already kind of spoke about this early on. Effectively, there's been an uptick in residents who are either seriously concerned, have potentially already been hit by somebody on the sidewalk with a bicycle.
Twice.
Summertime, a lot more kids in the neighborhood now, and a lot more electrically assisted vehicles, I guess you could say, on the sidewalks, like e-scooters, e-bikes, things that can go, 30+ miles an hour if you unlock them, all that type of stuff. So the issue we have is the potential harm that that causes. It sounds like part of the issue is a lack of awareness. I think you do have a lot of residents who have moved here post-COVID who are not sitting around reading the code. They don't know what the rules are. If you look at our code, a lot of it looks like the last time the definitions were updated was 1997. You look at the definition of a bicycle, we're talking about 50cc internal combustion moped engines getting put in there. I remember as a kid wanting to do that. Most kids nowadays are not doing that. You're buying an e-bike or an e-scooter, you know, off the bat. So it seems like at a minimum, what we can do is do an actual update as it pertains to the definition section in chapter 176 for things such as bicycle, update that. Electric bicycle and electric scooter, add those as definitions. We have a great precedent for the city of Rochester. They have definitions for both of those types of vehicles in their code. That can help us with giving us something to start with as it relates to definitions of those. And then any other miscellaneous definitions we want to add to the village code. We also need to update the code to provide, clarity regarding if and when bicycles without electric assist are actually able to be used on the sidewalks. Rules for operators of e-bikes and e-scooters. Updates to penalties if we want to. And then I think, again, we had a resident who spoke to this, but conducting kind of sidewalk safety awareness campaigns to improve resident awareness of the rules and regulations of the sidewalks, bicycles on pedestrian walkways, and then e-scooter and e-bike operation. So safe use of those things if you have them. How do we actually work on informing the residents about that? Again, things such as adding signage on the actual sidewalks to let people know your bike should not be, if you're 18 years old and you're riding an e-bike, it should not be on the sidewalk. Hold the bike safety days in coordination with Monroe County Sheriff's Office and or going into the Pittsburgh Central School District. Go in, talk to middle schoolers, say, hey guys, you live here, you live in, the town of Pittsburgh, but you bike through here, here are the rules.
Just interject, we have an opportunity for school starting up.
Exactly,
So we can really plug in first thing.
To talk about that.
Yeah.
And then I know the New York Bicycling Coalition, I don't know if people were part of that. I know I was part of that when I was in New York City. They have a ton of information that's very helpful for residents all across New York State. They're always updated as it relates to laws within the state. They're a great resource that we can use to help lean on for presentations, all that kind of stuff. So, a lot of that being said, what I did when I was looking into this, I looked at our existing code, I looked at the city of Rochester's code, chapter 34, looked at the New York DMV's overview as it relates to operating electric scooters and bicycles, and I looked at the New York State Department of Transportation facts for bicycles in New York State. So I've included in here, tried to highlight for everybody where we have issues on our existing code, where we may be able to lift definitions from the city of Rochester, and then where the state guidance pertains to electric vehicles or electric bikes and e-scooters today. So I'll stop there.
No, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah, really
So
good.
what I thought was interesting is that they talked about in the city, was it 12 years old? They categorized 12 years. And where am I finding that now? Yeah,
Yeah.
12 and under, right. That was a city rule, right? Right now, we don't have any age in our
Correct.
code as well.
Correct.
So that's gonna be,
Pretty open, yeah.
yeah, that's.
And
Pretty open.
if you look at the DOT for New York State, it says while riding a bicycle on a sidewalk is not prohibited by New York statutes, some municipalities have passed ordinances prohibiting bicycle traffic on certain sidewalks.
Yeah.
So it's certainly within our rights to make those adjustments to the extent
Right.
clearly we think.
And the other thing that I think I brought it up a couple of meetings ago about this topic was that in our dense commercial areas,
Right.
like along Main Street, you need to dismount
Yes.
your bike. I don't care what age you are. I almost saw a little kid hit on a
Yeah.
tricycle.
Yeah.
Somebody pulling out of a driveway that was parking behind actually Book Culture, and
Right.
they freaked out. Because the parents were a little further back and the
Right.
little one was pedaling. I just think, just for safety, we just can't have that. Just in the, maybe from, I don't know, like Locust Street, maybe you
Right.
dismount to, on the other side of the Four
canal or
Corners or
something.
something, or
Yeah.
I don't know. But I really think we need to look at something like that. It's
And I
just too
think,
dangerous.
and I think signage right on the sidewalk, kind of like we do in the canal, would be
Mhm. Oh,
like,
yeah,
not
100%.
wouldn't be obstructive.
There actually was, when trustee Stetzer was on the board, and she was director of Reconnect Rochester and is still on the board and affiliated with that, and also one of the founders of Walk Like Pittsburgh. And she would be a good resource for us, I think, to circle back with. She has a lot of great information. But we did stencil things on the sidewalk in the commercial district to
Mhm.
dismount your bike, but I don't know how effective it was. I don't think they were
Hmm.
visual enough maybe to
Interesting.
make people connect. So I think we can go back and maybe do something that's a little stronger visually.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Do we still have the census on DPW?
Yeah.
Maybe,
But they-
maybe.
I
The
can-
frequency at which they were on the sidewalks was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah,
It was
you
a
know.
viewpoint for what they were versus.
That might,
visual.
yeah, that might be easy and powerful.
Yeah.
To do, to institute quite.
How hard is that for DPW to do
I mean,
cost wise? Like, is this pretty low, pretty
It's-
easy?
yeah, I mean, the paint supplies and the paint spray to go out and, the stencil, as long as we like the same stencil that we're using.
Different
We
color
need to-
paint.
We need to change the color paint,
Mhm.
like that.
We need high visibility.
Yeah, yeah, glow in the dark.
Reflective or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like
Yeah, glow in
that.
the dark would be really good. Yeah,
I'm not messing with
yeah.
Okay,
But yeah,
Yeah, but
so yeah,
let's,
so all on the actual sidewalk.
right. I think that would be great.
so let's make that an action item, please, as a follow-up with DPW about the stencils and paint.
Can we go ahead and do that
Yeah,
now? Yeah.
is there any,
Yeah, it's already been approved, it's already done, but we
Is
could,
that something, remember we talked about putting the glass beads? Is that something that
That-
could go in for the?
That
reflective?
gives you the reflectivity.
yeah, for the reflect, but I mean, there's many ways to do it, however, whatever
Whatever,
is
yeah.
appropriate.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
so pretty much any existing area where we stenciled, or what's the plan? That you would redo the stenciling, or do we have specific locations where we
Yeah.
were?
At this point, we
What?
probably want to walk in.
Why don't you walk it with them?
Yeah.
Let's speed up.
Grab a coffee.
Spots on.
Go for a
Also,
walk.
the consensus we have too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you remember what they said? Just,
One is, I think, walk your bike, another one is,
yeah, I can't remember.
it's.
dismount here.
No, it was,
I'll have to-
anyway, we'll have to.
Okay.
But we can even follow up and just do a quick send out to the board. This is what they look like,
Okay.
pictures,
Perfect.
that kind of thing, just so you
Right.
see it.
Sure.
We definitely need something more effective though than the white paint or whatever it was. It just wasn't picked up by people.
Can we put in the code a no bikes on sidewalks in the traditional downtown and the mixed use Erie Canal? I mean, it could be just an easy code update where all bikes are not permitted. And then as we. 'Cause I don't-
Right.
Riding on the bike, you can.
Yeah,
walk.
yeah, yeah,
Area
yeah,
walk.
yeah. But by doing that, at least it's embedded in there, very simple, no bikes in those districts. And then when we start signing it, it conforms very closely with the code. Jeff, right now, if we still go stencil it as we're talking about, does that conform with the code? Because the code says bikes permitted.
walk your bike section for
Business.
two bridges on the canal.
Yeah,
There is,
it's already in
yeah,
there.
but not,
But not the business district.
I'm
Not-
saying on all sidewalks.
Well, that was my question. That's why I'm trying to figure out where the stencils go, because I've only seen them
They've only been in
On
the
the canal,
commercial district. and the
where we
canal.
have specific
They're in the
code.
commercial district.
Wait.
Exactly,
Are
right.
you saying all neighborhood streets, Dave?
No, what I'm saying is the Erie Canal, mixed use Erie Canal,
Right, which we have.
right?
We
Which is
have that.
basically all of Shane
Yeah,
Ponds.
yeah, we have that.
And the traditional downtown, TDD.
Mhm.
Right? And if you do that, then the sidewalk across the street down on Shane Place would also not be permitted to have a bike on that sidewalk.
Right.
It would have to be in the road or walked.
Right,
It's a little bit more extensive because it's not just the canal side, it's the opposite of the street.
Mhm.
But
Important.
it would pick up all the sidewalks in the
Yeah.
TDD.
Yeah.
By having it very clearly labeled, we don't necessarily have to enforce it across the street, but at least then we could enforce it.
Let's talk about enforcing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's enforce
That's the
it,
other-
let's enforce it.
yeah.
Hang on, attorney
I
here.
would say that what you're talking about there should be part of the global correction of that section. of the
Okay,
code.
great.
Mhm.
Sounds
So
good.
that should be
Incorporate it.
in that section of the code.
Okay.
So it's
Mhm.
easy for people to find it.
If we go in and stencil, right, and just do that, because we're already committed, does that conform with our code says, or are we stenciling?
Yeah.
Something that, okay, great. That's what I was thinking. We're good with that.
First of all, it's a public safety issue.
Right, all right. So
Let's
I
start
agree.
with that,
And we're
regardless.
followed up
Code
with
now, it's a
coaching.
public
So-
safety issue.
Let's go to the mayor's point now, no matter how great we write this code. Just like with speeds of traffic, stop signs, right, e-scooters, 14-year-old kids going 30 miles an hour on a sidewalk, right, seen it, done it, well, not exactly. How do we enforce this? And that's where this starts.
So do you have a
Yeah.
bicycle patrol? Do we have somebody that we hire that is on a bike that can match? the-
Fast bike.
Yeah, a fast bike.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean an e-bike with no governor? Oh, there we go.
Maybe we have our ticket writing guy, our parking ticket
Well,
guy.
believe me, Mikey would like to do
Yeah.
that. He would
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to do that.
I have a real question about, well, that's a real question.
Yeah.
I have an additional question about enforcement. Who we giving the ticket to? Who we dragging down to?
Right, because the
Is
kids
it
gonna
the
throw
child or the
garbage.
parents?
It's gotta be the parent
Yeah.
of a, let's say an under
If
16.
it's somebody, yeah,
Yeah,
underage,
to the responsible parent.
parent.
You let us, if you tell us we can issue the citation to the parent, that's where we should go.
Yeah.
You
Right?
can, right?
I just don't know, I don't think you can issue a citation to a minor.
Okay,
I
sounds
mean, I
good.
just don't know how you can do that.
I don't know, if he's breaking the law, if the 10-year-old breaking the law,
A minor would be prosecuted for any crime
Mhm.
right,
as a juvenile delinquent in family court.
Right.
So
so technically,
I
yeah.
don't think family court's gonna take on,
Well, we're not gonna put.
you know, bike riding problems.
So let's go back to enforcement, and then we'll come back to who do we enforce it upon, right? So let's settle the who's the person writing the ticket, and then after that, who do we
I
write the
think it's
ticket?
gotta be a seasonal,
Who would be
person.
seasonal?
Can it be somebody in the
in the
DPW?
peak time too.
I like our parking ticket guy.
Don't even.
I don't know the answer to that.
Can we do our parking ticket?
No.
You have to be on a bike.
Why?
Well, we
You have to
can,
catch
Why?
it.
you have to catch.
Well, he's,
I
oh,
mean,
wow.
you're gonna catch it.
As soon as it gets to the, as soon as it gets,
Very
as
fast.
soon as it gets to 12 quarters, those kids have to stop because those lights are ridiculous.
Okay, I can tell you, we were talking about this earlier. I don't know if they stopped doing it. It was when the kids would do the TikTok videos and they would go right into traffic, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and they pop wheelies and we would have them at the main intersection here at Four Corners. And there was a young fellow that was consistently doing that and photographs were taken of him and the sheriff's department identified it and found the parents and, you know,
Yeah.
photographs, I don't know, the same.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, like, can we have residents do effectively a bounty type thing, where you take a photo of it and submit it into a system to say, this was the video of the incident.
I'll comment on the low end of things, as DPW, when we do, well, for instance, I'll use the canal stencils as an example, when we're on the canal path, painting those stencils. We usually encounter 2 or 3 bicyclists that will stay on the path and try to ride and fly down through there.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of, you know, as they're coming, almost like we're directing traffic, you know, slow down, they'll come to a stop. What, and it's the stencils right here, we're painting it, please, you know, walk your bike through here. I always write, you know, so it's one of those, if you're at a stationary point at any location. You almost don't have to scroll.
That's right, you're gonna find it.
They're gonna come right to you,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
that's why I said
Picture bear.
especially 12 at the 4 corners.
Yeah.
You could see them down the street, they'll come right, and then they're gonna have to
so
stop.
it's-
We need to
think
sort it
there's
out, though.
opportunity
Yeah.
there, depending on how we stand it.
What if we had bollards?
Can we have volunteers, like in their little, just like we have for crossing cars? Volunteers, bike tickets?
Whole ballast stuff.
Here's not right. So here's.
Yeah, the red beret.
There might be a lot of parents that might want to volunteer, I don't
Oh,
know.
there probably would be.
They probably,
We have-
would be, I bet.
We have to brainstorm enforcement, no matter how, again, we can spend a ton of time on code and it could be beautiful and perfect.
To be continued.
But in the end, if we don't figure out enforcement or some way relatively easy to try to deter and educate, right? Which we can already do. I think enforcement's the biggest question.
I
well-
agree, Dave, but I also think that awareness.
Sure.
Yeah,
If we
exactly.
start
Yeah.
with the signs and we start with changing the code, that's gonna spike awareness. And that's gonna get us
Yeah.
Hundred
somewhere.
percent,
You,
Right.
there.
you don't know what you don't know, and we have a bunch of
Right.
kids and I'm sure just have no clue
Mhm.
that they're breaking a rule.
I'm just gonna say it's not kids because I watched the motorcycles come
Oh,
down
yeah,
the
it's a
sidewalk across the street
Yeah,
last
it's
night
not
as I was
kids,
leaving.
it's not kids.
A motorcycle on the sidewalk.
Motorcycle,
Yeah.
cut right across.
Unbelievable.
I was gonna get his license plate and I,
I do want to say one thing. regardless of enforcement and how we try to sort it out, we know it's gonna be difficult. Just because that's an issue doesn't mean you don't make the law.
Right,
Agree.
yes,
Because it's like, well, everybody speeds, so why have a law?
right.
Wait a second, you start somewhere,
Yes.
and then there's that educational
Mhm.
component and trying to at least affect some behavior. You know.
I think though, how we do enforcement will dictate a little bit how we make those code changes. You know, I'm thinking about
Potentially.
who's liable, who's responsible.
Oh, yeah, that,
Stand-
definitely, I agree,
Exactly.
I agree.
And that, you know, and that will, and can we stand in one place and catch people, and how do we do that, you know?
A lasso.
You still, I don't think our parking guy has the time, but you can tell him if he does it.
You might have some ideas on it too.
But yeah, you make it
You see them
severe,
all the time.
make it severe enough so that it hurts for someone to break that rule.
I tried that with the tree legislation. Doesn't go over that well with the public.
But you know what?
Care.
This is a big- Okay, you guys, this is a bigger discussion than right now.
So,
All good points. Maria, you had a comment?
Yes, I do. So as far as how you can catch them, you, police do. One sits here, takes your information, calls one down, says grab that one. So we can have one who sees them and something that's a little bit further down, but it's all provided by Scott.
Yeah, but who is it?
It's a,
Whether they're, that person speaks.
it's a dedicated enforcement issue at that point, and that's a good point.
And then whatever signage you go with, I think it would be great to make it completely different than anything we're using anywhere right now.
Mhm.
We need a refresh.
Mhm.
So come up with new signage and use new signage
Mhm.
now. And possibly
That's a good
having
one.
at
I like
the
that.
entrance where, you know, sometimes you can have I'm not proposing like a gate or something, but some sort of a stand-up sign that says,
Mhm.
you need to exit here, you need to get off your bike here.
For example, I would love to see that really at the corner of like Locust and Main. Dismount your, get off of your bike, or some, really just simple. You're in a commercial area.
I
Yeah.
was saying, I do this all the time, they need a hard reset on that. But some
Mhm.
different
Good
signage,
point.
can use the same signage on it, now everywhere, everybody gets a new sign.
Good, thank you. All really good points. Yeah, Sam.
Very quickly, so I understand we need to penalize the bikes, but a rider is engaging in unsafe behavior because the road where it is, they're supposed to be, is even worse. That Escalade doesn't care if you have a motor or not, they'll smush you anyway. So while this is all wonderful, it seems like now would be a good time though to reevaluate how we're implementing the active transportation plan that you mentioned. So if
That's
we
where we're
have
going
one,
to.
right? I don't know, it's like, we can't penalize the child for being on the bike because the other, on the sidewalk, because the option is like.
But we can change the behavior of the child on the sidewalk.
We can, however, what are we trying to teach them, right? Are we trying to teach them?
This is where we're
Yeah.
getting a little circular right now, and these are all good points, and I think we're all essentially kind of, on the same wavelength about
So
this.
how can you
It's how,
reevaluate
well, we're
this?
not gonna solve it right now, because we have other agenda items, but we are gonna address this probably even in a more public forum.
but
We can
but
even
to
do
your
workshops.
point, the key is, we're gonna start somewhere.
We're starting.
Right now,
somewhere.
we'll start with this, but then 100% it'll move into the next stage,
It's been identified.
the
Totally.
streets.
Excuse me
So,
1 second. Yes, Dorothea, we have.
I have a public comment.
Okay. And then we'll take the comments, then we're gonna move on because we have other items.
oh,
Emily.
before
Oh,
we
are
move
you
on-
not done?
No.
He's not
So,
done. We'll take the comments and go back to trustee Wills.
Emily Diaz, she commented, I'd rather the conversation be centered around education and awareness instead of enforcement. If people understood the rules, we wouldn't have to worry so much about enforcement.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, that's step one.
So my next thing is,
Sorry, was there any other comment?
That's
Oh,
it.
okay, sorry.
so my next thing effectively ahead of, because I want to make sure that every meeting, something's actually occurring. So ahead of the September 9th meeting, do we agree that at least from a definition standpoint, we can start working on definitions?
Yes,
Yeah,
That's
yes,
minimal,
that's a
right?
good one, yeah.
I
Okay.
say hop right in.
So, Jeff, is that something that,
Yeah, I mean, yes, the answer is yes, but aside from plagiarizing the cities, which I think would be a good thing to do, is there something else we want added?
There's no
No.
such thing as plagiarism
let's-
in government.
Well,
Let's
and
start with getting the.
start with getting,
definitions.
exactly, so like, I think that's it. But right now, things such as, again, bicycle,
What it
I think
is.
updating to the city of Rochester's
Sure.
new version.
That is, it is so easy to do that. That unless you're going to pass it before you pass the rest of the legislation, which I think would not be well advised, we can do it all at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? Or do you wanna adopt those?
No, I just think.
Start the
Yeah,
process.
yeah, so.
Start the process.
Start
Start
it.
the definition.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah,
All right, I have it as an action item for September.
okay, and then I'll go with you, I'll email, we'll figure out
Sort it.
new stencils. Okay,
Well, yeah, I like the idea, something new. We need a reaper.
okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Next up, thanks, this was a good discussion, though. I mean, we really, we've got to put this out there and sort it. It's not going away. Okay, just as a note, West Jefferson Circle is no longer on the agenda. That was item 7. Next up is item number 6, the South and Wood Street change order. Hi there.
Howdy. The board requested, we go back to GPI, GPI provided, there was concerns by trustee Limbeck on some information regarding, who was doing the inspections. I provided trustee Limbeck with, I reached out to Caitlin, our reference, Caitlin Keems, I'm probably mispronouncing her last name. But anyway, she provided trustee Limbeck job descriptions and the actual resumes of the people doing the work. I provided him information to contact her with his additional information. And then he let us know he wasn't gonna be here and it was
Put it
okay
back
to
on.
put it back on.
Put it back on, yeah.
So that's all I have to report.
Oh, here we are. We have a change order. We need to move forward on this project.
And they're doing the full-time inspections right now.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, that was going to be my question,
Yeah.
because time had gone on.
We have to get it,
So they're already doing it.
they're already doing it, they've been doing it because we haven't had a person to do it and they have to be done.
I was going to ask if it was going to be cheaper, because no one was doing
No.
it. But they're doing it
No,
right
no,
now.
No, because the billing and what we pay for the project is also
Got it.
part of that. So
Yeah.
you want those inspections because that makes sure that billing is accurate.
Yeah,
So it's to our benefit, these inspections are happening.
any further discussion or is there a motion?
I think we get it done.
Yeah, we have no choice, really.
Make a motion to-
We have no choice. We really have no choice,
Yeah.
so let's move
Make a motion
forward.
to approve the change order as requested.
Second. Go ahead.
Ooh, that was a tie.
Racing.
Good words.
I'm gonna give it to Dave and Dave.
All right. Good, Dave. Share the wealth.
Okay, so trustee Cook.
Aye.
Trustee Wills.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay. Where are we? Next up. Oh, yeah, the bond resolution on our dump truck.
Yeah. So whatever what we're doing, the board agreed to purchase the trucks and my understanding, Jason, you reached out to Valley Head. And it looks like the beginning of the year. We okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It looks like, it looks like we'll be seeing the trucks close to the beginning of the year. I want to have the bond resolution in play, so it's done, so we
Yeah.
can go ahead and get the bond for this. So I would be looking to issue the bond probably, I want to get a more firm date from Valley Fab, but I probably would be putting the bond out in November to have the money in-house ready to go to pay for the trucks. So
So you're looking for the motion? to
I need a
adopt the
motion, if
resolution.
everybody agrees, because there's steps involved with the bond resolution that have to put out the estoppel, bunch of
Gotcha.
legal things that have to be done. So if everybody's good with the bond resolution, this was written by our bond attorney,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
We love Jeff, but he's gonna decline to answer any on this.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Don't want me writing anything to do with bonds.
Are there any questions before, otherwise we can entertain a motion here? Pretty standard for the bond,
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
basically.
It's just like what we did for South End.
Yeah.
We just put this in play.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve the bond resolution for the dump trucks.
Second, please.
Second.
Roll, please.
Okay, trustee Marshall, Co, trustee Wiltz.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
So I did, the interest rate was higher than I thought it would for a municipality of our quality. Though we're not rated, right?
No.
And it's a pretty small issue. And so essentially what happened when I looked through, who was buying it, who bid on it, right? And looked up other offerings. And it's certainly commensurate with what else is out there.
Mhm.
And this bond is essentially going to a shop that then either distributes it or holds it in-house. I believe it's distributed amongst existing clients. But it is surprisingly at least a point, maybe even a point and a half above larger, high-quality issues. And I think that's mostly the result of not being rated and being a smaller body.
Correct, because
And which
We
makes
don't-
sense.
if we went for bonds over $1 million.
Yeah.
We would have to get a bond rating.
That's right.
Then we-
And that's gonna cost you money,
And that's gonna cost you
which even if you
money.
get a better rating, it's not costing you
Yeah.
money.
Right on that, isn't it?
Especially
We did.
too, remember when
Yeah.
we said, it's come in right under.
And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I get it, 4%. Somebody is getting a nice 4% tax-free bond.
I mean, it's all out of my hands, but, the one thing we could look at, and I'm not saying, just because you do the bond resolution doesn't mean you have to do it. You have to get the bond. If you decide the village gets a magical windfall, you could just pay cash for the trucks.
Right.
Is that a possibility? Sure, you could decide to take from the fund balance, you could look at some of those things.
Right.
But
This doesn't preclude us from considering that when
doesn't
we get there.
preclude you, but
This helps move it forward.
But you're gonna have a
Yeah.
bill, we know of over 500,000 coming at the beginning of the year, so.
But you think about those, 4% on 500 grand, right, is 20,000, that's a 2% tax increase. Right?
But 4% it's not gonna be zero.
No. No,
But
and we lose
It'd be a
interest,
spread on
and
something.
if we take it out of the bank, we're gonna lose interest.
Yeah,
So at the end of the day,
yeah,
move it forward,
we need it.
that's right.
Tomato. Okay,
Okay, I'm all set with that.
you good?
That's right.
I don't need a seeker on that.
Exactly.
I don't think we need a seeker on the truck purchase. No.
No,
Okay.
okay. Next up, and is the letter in here?
I copied it.
You did, thank you, good, I couldn't remember to put it in, no, I got it, it came to me. This is the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, they have reached out to our municipality and many others across the nation. Really, it's about, I think it's in November, November 3rd, to sort of light up your building, your municipal building. They're asking for teal lights, we can get a string of teal lights, for Alzheimer's awareness, and I'm aware of it. We had Alzheimer's in our family, and I know other
My
people
father
have
died
as
of
well. And I think it's just a nice thing to do to support something that it's difficult when you go through it. So, I guess I'm just looking for the approval really from the board to go circle back with them and say, yes, we're gonna support it.
I'll make a motion to approve it. Have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Dave. Dave Wilkes.
Thank you.
Edie.
Okay. Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Aye.
Trustee Wiltz.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer. Mayor Plummer.
I said
I
I
need
didn't say it louder though. I didn't
I didn't
say it
hear
louder.
that.
No, it was a tiny eye, I'm sorry. Yeah.
My
long-
hearing's going tonight.
No, well, my, everything's going. So thanks for this. I think this is good. So we'll get something going here. Okay, next up, building inspector report. Steve has submitted.
He is unfortunately, due to an email hiccup. We keep having those, we're still working through some glitches. I didn't get his report yesterday, I got it later today.
Yeah, and I didn't even have a chance to take a look, but I've spoken with him.
Right, and I presented it,
Yeah.
it's here. If there's anything of concern the board would like.
And even if it's not something that you didn't catch tonight, you can always give him a quick call if there's something you want to follow up on.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he couldn't be available tonight.
Yeah. Okay, anything, and move forward. DPW, Jason, you've been so patient, thank you.
And your first meeting with us.
Yes.
Yay, you're welcome.
Yep,
Don't beat me up too much here.
Oh, no.
no,
We're
we'll be
nice.
gentle.
Any questions on the listed items on the report?
The plaque.
Yes, so I was gonna address that.
Oh,
Is
that's
it
all
on
I
the
want.
report? I didn't know it made it on there.
Well, we have a little agreement in there.
Yes. So the clock agreement came in, I guess that was issued back during the prior leadership.
Mhm.
Went to an email that I guess just failed. So I finally was able to touch base with our clock maintenance team and the agreement in hand, so we can move forward with our yearly agreement with them to maintain and perform their yearly maintenance on the clock.
Yeah.
Beautiful clock. We love that clock.
Yep, it's,
It's needed.
Yep.
It's important to have
Yep.
them do that, because
Great.
there's a lot of new stuff in there that we don't really have.
we don't need a motion, do we? It's just 50. Do we?
We need a
Want
motion.
one?
It's an annual maintenance that go both ways.
I know, it's annual, I mean, we always do this.
Yeah, we can sign up on it. It's
Yeah,
good. We're
I
just
mean,
bringing it to your.
yeah, no,
attention.
it's
a little
good,
late,
it's
but
good.
that-
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
Yeah,
I never,
650, they come in and you can
I-
just oversee it.
Worth it.
Is it de minimis enough?
at least let you know we went ahead with it.
Yeah, if it's still ticking,
Still figure.
yep. Let's see. Yeah, I thank you. I mean, I know the heat has just been brutal and I know it's been tough on the crew and
Yeah, we've been.
trying to pace everybody.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Stay hydrated and work through.
Yeah.
Try to pull them out of the direct sunlight and try to do different tasks.
Yeah.
Go to the shade canopies, do some trimming, along the sidewalks, kind of clearing, there's a lot of low hanging branches that, an average height person would get there as we were going through.
Which is great.
Aside from all the usual work that is on here, more on the DPW equipment side of things, I'm now creating a list of all the surplus items that we can bring to the auction in
Thank you.
September, October. I think it's gonna be the first weekend of October we're aiming
Okay.
for. So we are replacing some trucks.
Mhm.
One of our trucks really right now is inoperable. So I'd like to just get it out of here and get it to the auction. We can't use it for plowing, we can't use it for
Yeah.
leaves, it's just inoperable, so.
It's a paperweight.
Is it like a big truck or like a
Yeah,
pickup?
it's
One of the big
truck.
ones, it's just this-
It's the-
How old is that one? I know, it's like,
And I don't know, it's early 2000s.
yeah, it's like 20
20.
some, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they age out really, it's past its.
So
by
they'll
date.
be on there, and I'll have a whole list of things that we'll bring to the table in September for.
That's great.
surplus list.
Sorry, just a quick question. When you do take those to surplus, how does that from a treasury standpoint?
What happens is it'll come off our insurance list, we'll stop insuring it. I need the board's blessing so we can sell it.
Okay.
So that's the board
Mhm.
declaring it surplus. We're gonna have some filing cabinets. We're gonna, anything we can get rid of
Yeah,
and let the auction
Sanitary,
house
so.
take care of it and just get rid of it.
Okay.
Also with doing that, we're gonna look at, we have some electronic surplus.
Mhm.
I mean, old computers, we'll pull the hard drives, we drill press through them.
Mhm.
And then we're just getting rid of old printers and we just declare it all surplus and get rid of the electronic waste.
And then the funds received go into general.
They go right into, we have sales equipment in our revenue
Yeah.
line, and anything that we receive a check from doing that will go back
I think to
into
that line.
to the,
Got it.
into our
Okay.
revenues.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of,
Nice
fun to
little
see,
bonus.
I know,
Yeah.
like comes in over the transom.
But we want to
You know.
gather as much equipment, whatever we really want to get rid of in-house and give it to you all at one time.
Mhm.
Brings me to my next point, as some of you know, we're at the meeting for the leaf machine purchase. Unfortunately, there are no leaf machines available anywhere in the East Coast.
Unbelievable.
There was a miscommunication on the purchase of this. And so to make good on this opportunity, the company that we are working with is offering us a different method of picking up leaves. It's a truck mounted system. So instead of having 4 operators out, this is basically a 1-person job that they go out in a truck. And to visualize it as like a giant street sweeper, I guess we would say. It's got a giant hopper on the back, like we would stuff in the back of our dump truck. And then the leaf machine itself, the motor, the drive, the tube are all attached to that actual body. The truck goes around with a joystick and the guy can just look out over the curb and the thing moves back and forth, up and down. sucks up all the leaves instead of somebody doing it
I
by
was
hand.
wondering if someone would actually have to go out and move the
Right.
nozzle.
So at the minimum, one person can do it, but ideally we would have a second person blowing leaves. At
Yeah.
least now they're not on the roadway, they're not trailing behind the machine.
Safer, definitely.
It's a neat operation for us to try. It's actually a window of opportunity for us to see if this is a more efficient and safer way to do things. So unfortunately, we have to rent it from them. They can't just give it to us. So the thought process is we'll rent it. It's $4,500 a month, so you're talking 2.5 months. I figure that's about what it takes to move leaves, usually 2 months, but we'll take it for a little bit longer if needed. And then at that opportunity is over, I think we should evaluate, is this the better method for us versus having a 4-person crew stuck to one truck and one leaf machine? And then only having one other person or two to be able to go and do some small stuff with like the street sweeper.
So essentially, this is a far more efficient
It could be.
initially.
So we're on a rented pilot.
What's that?
We're on a rented pilot opportunity this fall.
Yeah,
We'll pilot it, see what it looks like, and then we'll
Yeah.
just circle back and make it just like it.
Is it,
We're only running for a couple months,
yeah,
basically.
it's an
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah,
And
it's a
if
great
for some
opportunity.
reason it's not efficient, then now we have plenty of time to purchase the
Right.
the regular leaf machine. Which even then I think we can save some money and find a different model. Versus the one that we've been using, which is just cumbersome and large, and it doesn't fit in a lot of our areas that we want it
Yeah.
to. So I think there's a lot of areas for improvement, efficiency and cost savings with moving forward.
so this new joystick version, is it modular, meaning you like adapt it to one of our trucks, or is it a full system
It comes on a truck, on a chassis, so it's a.
on its own chassis?
Yeah.
It's its own truck.
It's its own truck, yeah.
Yes, picture.
Oh, visualize that.
Okay.
Is that- Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, could we adapt that to one of our trucks in the future?
No,
Yeah.
it's its own
It
truck. It's
sounds
its
like
own
that,
truck.
yeah.
I think he just wanted to know if we have to buy a whole new truck.
Oh, it's cute.
Oh, wow. Like a
Yeah.
little-
So we have to buy a new truck is basically what it would be.
If we went this
If we
way.
went this way.
Would be
If
mine.
we went this way, yes, okay.
Well, I mean, eliminate.
You're getting the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're getting the whole thing, and
And
as you
eliminating
move
some-
it, there's
yeah.
other things we can use it constantly for
Okay, there's plenty.
beyond leaves.
Oh, good.
Oh,
All
there you
right.
go.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
idea. Okay. And we're getting rid of 2 men and
And it
we're
comes
maybe
with an
using
American
something
I
else.
was gonna say, I like the paint job.
We're getting rid of
Oh,
two,
that's-
two other people that would have to do it, and we might be able to use
We can use-
something
I
else.
love
We
that.
can use those for,
That doesn't
really-
by example, this leaf
So your
season,
boys are gonna love
with
this.
this machine, we can send 2 people out instead of 4.
Yes,
Others we
great.
can now go out and.
Here's something
Yep.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's more efficient.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other issue with this, I should say issue, the other benefit of this truck is this box now actually holds more than our current one.
Oh, wow.
By about 5 cubic yards more, which is a significant amount, we're
Yes.
talking.
Back and forth, yeah.
2% back. It also allows us to get into our tighter neighborhoods that we normally would have to go up the border, which creates more damage to yards and roadways, so. Overall, it's going to be an interesting time of trial to see how this works out for us. I guess this miscue kind of turned into an advantage. for us.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a
Opportunity.
blessing, yeah.
But- So I guess here I'm asking for your approval to be able to spend the 4,500 a
Yeah.
month for the time we need it. And at the same time, our other leaf machine that we had is inoperable, so that will probably make it onto the surplus list, just because if we were to put any money into it, we're not getting back out of it.
But that's the one from last year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's
So it's
really
broken
old.
anyways.
It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
old.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like duct tape and super glue.
I was putting it in the corner and I begged and pleaded with these guys, we need something, find me a machine to use, anything.
Wow.
And he's like, well, we don't normally do this, but we can offer a rental period for you to see how this works.
Well, I think it's kind of a
That
win-win
sounds
because you
nice.
can trial it.
So I make a motion,
Oh, there will be a demo, I'm sorry, that they're going to bring this to the village so we can all see it.
I want to
Oh,
see it.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring your boy.
so I make a motion to allow for $4,500 to be spent on the.
It's gonna be more
No,
than
no.
45.
Just
$45
to rent.
to rent the new leave truck.
The
for this
extreme
season.
bad.
Jeff, do we need like a ceiling on that or a max number of months
Of money?
of money?
Yeah.
For no more
Or
than
is
3
it-
months.
Don't.
3 months?
Question, you don't, but the question is, do you want?
I would say no more than.
No
3
more than
months.
3
Yeah,
months.
3
Okay.
months, that's probably fine.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.
The old
Probably
one
less.
completely out of commission, or will you, so this will be our only leaf truck?
It's
So,
this or nothing.
okay, so if we sell the old one at auction, some of that can even offset the rent that we're paying on it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just thinking.
And do I have to say add $4,500 a month?
Sure.
Do I have a second?
Second.
There we go.
Okay, trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Trustee Co.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Would they do a rent to own, like the crediting was for that 4,500 a month? Say at the end of 3 months, we say, man, we gotta have one. They let us keep it and say, your 4,500 per month is gonna go towards purchase price.
Yeah, they've worked through, we're still in the beginning phases of it, but I've wanted to know all the options available to us if we decide that this is the route to go.
Okay,
So there are a few ways we can go about it, and yes, one of those is to apply these payments towards a facility.
Last question.
Sure,
Do you know the total cost of that machine?
221,000.
Okay, that was my, gotcha.
Basically paying for the depreciation.
send in those box tops. No. Okay.
I'd be happy to provide more details to it at a later date, but there's a lot of benefits to it, cost savings that we've actually been analyzing now at the DPW. We've gone through fuel logs, man hours,
Oh,
fuel
great.
efficiency.
Yeah, let's,
Okay.
yeah, that would be a great, report when we're ready to, yeah.
We don't need to put this out to bid because it's under a certain price or.
If it can be under, for the 40, this is a rental.
Because it's a
renting,
rental, we
it
don't
doesn't
have to.
count.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I just wanted to confirm.
Yes, if we were looking to buy the truck, we're gonna look whether it's state
And we
bid or
have
all
to
that
do
usual.
Anything else you want to bring? There's a couple things I want to follow up on too.
Sure, and I got one more would
Yeah.
be, our current 1 ton, so the smaller dump trucks, we have 2 of those. The newer of the 2 is in for a service right now. We're getting an estimate to see what that's going to be.
Mm.
The one of the 1 tons was up for replacement, I believe, next year. We may end up bumping this one depending on the damage that's on this truck. And what issues it has. I assumed the worst, but it may just be something silly as a loose bolt or something metal.
You never
that's
know.
making Noise, but so it's in for service now, a little more moving
All
forward.
right, keep us posted.
Yeah, I think there's truck 14 that's in this
That was
current year,
14? Okay,
right? That you were looking to swap.
I never remember the numbers on the trucks. What else?
The rest, I believe, would be employee matters for executive session.
Which we'll deal with another time. Yeah, I wanted to say too about the trees that were cut on south. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the tree trimming. Yeah,
That's not called.
well, Jason and I ended up walking, all of it with the engineer and also with the contractor. And with the arborist, yes, who is an excellent arborist, Josh Galili. And he's so he went through every single tree. The trees, I don't know if you've seen them, they're I thought RG&E had gone through again, it was that bad. And evidently it was a tree company, but the contractor is going to make full remediation in terms of the bad cuts that were done, properly cutting back to save a lot of the trees. And then we have, how many trees? 5 we're removing?
5 will include just because there's.
Are they gonna pay for replacement?
Hang on, these are invasive species.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
You didn't-
So
you didn't
let's
tell
all
them
say
that,
yay.
Don't
So
tell
do I.
them that.
So, yeah, and then the arborist has made some recommendations for replacements on those trees, so. And actually, I was gonna talk with, I wanna follow up with him on that, because I don't remember everything he recommended. But what's great is, we're not paying for it. We are getting this work done, because even though it was in the contract. That they were allowed to do some trimming to allow for the large trucks to go through when they were doing the paving. This was far more than that. This was far more. This was somebody
Would like to change that.
who loved to chainsaw.
Without respect to trees.
Yeah, so, but I
No respect.
have to say, they really were willing to work with us. They understood it, they saw it. I mean, there's empirical evidence. So, we're just circling back on when they're gonna start the work, and we're putting out a bulletin to the community to let them know this is what happened and there will be remediation. So it's not a bad thing.
So the 5 that are being removed
Mhm.
were invasive and they're going to pay to put in something that's.
I don't know that they will pay to replace those, because they don't actually have to remove those on some of them. They were just pretty good.
It's a make nice.
It's just, they really want to just kind of leave it better than it was, I think they just want to make make good on it, as they say, so. Yeah, and we also have a budget line for our street trees anyway, so. Wanted to bring you guys in the loop on that. So thank you for your report, your first report. We didn't beat you up too much, did we? Okay. Okay, next up, treasurer?
Please don't beat me up either.
Never.
Okay, we have our bill pay. Is there any questions for anything in there? I didn't see anything crazy.
Hang on one second. Do we need Jeff? I mean, we always need you, you know that. Do we need him for any member items though, or anything at the end? You know, I just didn't wanna hold you up.
I'm gonna need them for something in my stuff.
Oh, okay. You're not leaving? We're not releasing? you?
Sorry.
And before we move, Jason, the meadow, was there some day that you're thinking maybe?
So, yeah, I'd like to do, we have, staff members starting next week, I'm scheduling training. I would like to do the work.
It's on your agenda though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it always has been.
Yeah.
In other words, twice a year,
It's usually
spring and fall,
end of
That's when they can get to it.
sometime,
Yeah.
or September.
Yeah.
Super happy with it.
Yep,
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it will rest assured.
Yep. there's been numerous inquiries. Okay, yes, back to
Okay.
treasurer.
Back to me. The only thing I would say remarkable on here is M&T Bank, that's the sweeper lease. And paying that,
Yeah.
that's a little hefty thing,
Yeah.
but came in where we budgeted it
Yeah.
to be, so life is good that way. I'm not seeing anything of concern. So if there,
No,
unless you have any
okay.
questions, if you can approve it, please.
Make a motion to approve bill pay.
Freaking her out, man.
Don't mess with me.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Quick
Okay.
question.
So close, we were so close.
I know the salt usage, we're just paying the winter.
Yeah.
Finally got
so-
down to it, huh?
This is the problem. This came in after we closed our year-end budget.
Yeah.
It technically is for salt for last year, so we're gonna pay for the salt for last year out of this year. It's under budgeted. I'm gonna end up needing a budget transfer. The problem is we just closed year end,
Yeah,
so
here we
I
are.
haven't even done June, July. and We're gonna have 3 months of bank recs and it's not my fault.
Okay.
I'm just stating it in front of court. But we're gonna end up need a budget transfer for that.
Yeah.
I think we need to go to the town and ask if we can get our salt bill. I don't know.
Yeah.
In a
May.
timely manner?
Yeah,
How about in a timely manner?
Within
I
6
know.
months.
To us a little.
So what I would like to think, if we can get the salt bill sooner, we're gonna double pay this year. And then get back to
Reconcile.
where we
Yeah.
need to be, because this is,
Okay.
it just came in way too late.
Yeah.
And it was quite a bit because they did a lot of salting last year.
Oh,
A lot of
it was-
snow,
It was great.
a lot of snow, a lot of ice.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
ice last
Oh,
year.
there was a salt.
But that was a
shortage.
good question, and thank you.
Yep. All right.
Okay, you're worth your salt.
Okay. Okay, roll call, are we good?
Okay.
All right, trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes, trustee Marshall,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yep.
So we actually you have financials for May,
Thank you.
yes, and you have year ends. So let's just skip the financials for May. You're gonna approve them anyway because it all ends up into the year end. You can give me the
Yeah, I see
approval.
it. Yeah,
So can anybody read our year end?
I did,
of course you did.
with you.
With me. Yes, trustee Wilkes came in and we discussed our financial
You know,
as
didn't you?
well as our year end. And let's just go to, you wanna know the bottom line.
We always do.
Yeah. I mean, we could go each line through the year end and
Please
I
don't.
think the state will do that. So let me just go over where we ended the year. General fund, we had a surplus. And I predicted a surplus and I didn't.
I know you did. You
$357,389 went into our fund balance.
Mhm.
That's, and as I explained to trustee Books, that's good and bad. Good is we're watching our fiscal spending. Bad is probably we didn't do some projects or things we were intending to do. So we have to look at that both
Yeah.
ways. So, and here's one perfect example, the salt. Perfect example.
It's coming back to salt.
Yeah, it's always coming to salt. Sewer,
we had a deficit of 40,936. That means our revenues didn't come in as high as we'd like, or we spent more than we
So we
anticipated.
didn't raise the.
We did not raise sewer rates, and we planned a deficit for last year's budget. So we did exactly what we planned. We wanted to use fund balance.
And it was only due to.
And it really was due
Jefferson.
to Rand.
Or Rand.
Rand Street, I want to say Rand
That's
Creek,
right.
but
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
the sewer lining,
Which
which
needed
we
to be
talked
done.
about. And the board kind of knew we were gonna use the fund balance towards that.
No.
And it was an emergency.
It was an emergency, it had to be done, and we didn't just do the one section, we did the whole thing.
Yeah,
So,
well,
And we talked about this, that because we budget for this every year, technically because we did so much then, it probably will be less in the future years.
well, and it's a matter, we have to keep up with the
we have to
lining.
keep up with the
Yeah.
lining.
You know, and I'll note to the board, we had 2 years where we budgeted to do $100,000 worth of lining, and we didn't end up doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, it
I
goes.
know.
Even if it, yeah.
Yeah, if we had done some, but anyway, either way, we budgeted 35,000, it was like 83.
Yeah.
Thousand or more.
And quick question, do we, because I'm thinking what, and maybe that's already in the end drive, what's been lined? And what,
Or like when it's been lined.
you know, in terms of our
We'll
infrastructure?
have to look.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
I think it's bits and pieces.
I know it is
So
bits and pieces, but I mean, just, I think would help us. sort
This
of
is,
shape
I
where
think-
we're going.
I think this is the biggest.
Oh, it's definitely, I think, the biggest lining,
Yeah.
because the other one we were gonna look at was Sutherland.
I was gonna say
when we're ready.
Sutherland, yeah.
Yeah.
Sutherland was on, and the report I received at the time that it didn't
It
need
didn't
it.
need it, no,
But-
it was Scanx did a.
Correct, that's
Yeah.
what I heard, but
Mhm.
it'd probably be worth checking as.
I
we
think,
look at
I think
Sutherland.
so too, because it's been a while.
Yeah.
And everything going on that road.
So really, there's no surprises in the report. This is the bad news. We filed our report late. I'm very disappointed.
Oh,
No,
by like,
not like,
please.
yeah,
This-
hang on.
I found out from the accountants
Seriously.
on July 31st, it was due at 2 o'clock. I had to file an extension. We filed it on August
Oh,
fourth.
for
We
what?
were 2 days.
That's not, you just.
Well,
That's an extension.
Yeah.
dealing with the comptrollers, for me, that's late.
I know, this
I
is
don't like
how
to
she
be
moves through
late.
the world.
It's there for a reason.
It's there.
Exactly.
We had gotten our extension. Everything was fine, but technically we did file late, just so the board's aware. If something ever got brought up to you. I
I
filed.
get an extension on my ink.
Okay,
Yeah, it happens all the time.
anyway, so is there any questions on your end? I know I kind of didn't go over the whole details, but to me, the bottom line numbers are what
Yeah,
I'm looking for.
Really,
It
how do-
really
how do we
came
end
as
up?
planned.
So based on where we are at year end, where was our fund balance as a percentage of the budget then?
That I didn't calculate yet. I will get you
Yeah,
those
let's circle
numbers
back
as
on-
we get the year
Yeah.
started. I will take a look
Because-
at that.
When we created the budget, we kind of had a target.
And
And we funneled
Mhm.
the excess into all the reserves that we had created to make sure that their use is for exactly what we want, to make sure we can get trucks when we need them, or vehicles when we need them, and repairs when we need them, et cetera. So I suppose my question is, do we have additional funds in the fund balance that we could intra-year make a decision to push to reserves? Or do we want to let it sit there and just get through the year and then do it all at once at the end?
yes and no.
My question is really.
Yes,
That's two.
No, I wanted to-
I have to go either way.
No, I'm gonna agree with you. Technically, you're right. You know, sewer, I think sewer, we're good with our fund balance policy. I was conservative going in. As everybody knows, I tend to do that. Generally, yes, we're gonna have some extra to go in, but we didn't do some things. This goes back to last year's budget. We didn't do some things that we anticipated doing with, like, the front porch.
Oh, yeah.
That project was coming out of last year. It didn't start till this year. I couldn't do anything with it last year. I'm gonna need a motion from the board to use fund balance to cover that porch.
But then we'll get,
But
Well,
that
well,
is, but the good news is that's a grant project.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the money from the fund
Sure.
balance. We're gonna cover the repairs for the porch. I'm gonna submit to New York State. We're gonna get that money back. I'm hoping within this budget year.
Yeah,
And then it'll all be good.
And then at the end of the year, we can.
Right, but we're gonna have the same problem, and it's gonna be with DPW with the bathroom.
because it all started
Yeah.
in this budget year.
Yeah.
It didn't start last year, so we had earmarked to take fund balance from that to cover,
Mhm.
and the same thing for the sewer. So I'm gonna come to you and ask for you to make some
Mhm.
motions to go ahead and pay these
Okay.
bills. But we're gonna be using fund balance because we had anticipated them to start and hopefully be done. Or
Yeah.
transfer the money to cover them in this budget year. We didn't have the opportunity to do that because the bids didn't even,
Yeah.
you know how it all ended.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying yes and no,
Okay.
okay? I always have a good
The
answer.
cash, pseudo cash accrual, weird accounting kills me.
See, welcome to municipal accounting.
But yeah,
Where we are.
I'm still blessed by the comptroller.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so
What else?
the part I need Jack for is this has been tabled off for a couple meetings. It's the refund of the fees for people who filed with the garbage district. That requested that they,
What was it, two?
there was two,
Okay.
and the board put it off because they wanted to hear from Jeff. But
I thought the board had decided no.
I don't know about that.
Okay, never mind.
well,
What were the two,
We've
what were the
said-
two
yeah,
excuses?
just
Give us-
refresh
yeah,
everybody
refresh the
again.
two
Okay,
excuses.
Yeah.
let me, the board. Okay, technically Jeff is right. The board decided a district was a district, and whether you used it or not,
Right.
it helped fund the district, it helped save the roads and everything else. But they wanted to hear from Jeff. You wanted to hear from Jeff and his opinion. I think trustee Marshall and the mayor were kind of on the, let's refund it. I can't do anything because I don't have a decision. I have homeowners waiting for an answer. So I have one gentleman that pays it, does his own thing with his garbage. He takes it to the plant, he does everything.
He takes it to a dump. He's never used.
He's never used
service
any
ever.
services.
And he's lived here like 30
Do you know
years.
where he is?
He's on Green Hill.
Green Hill. The other gentleman, they're back to back and one's a rental and he just used one set between the units and himself. And he doesn't want to pay for two.
Yeah, he doesn't want to pay two fees for two separate properties.
Right, because he's
Because two
using
properties share
the
the
one,
totes.
the totes.
And there's somebody else before that we've already granted to be.
Well, you granted,
That
okay,
was the
for,
church.
there was the church because
We
they
had to.
absolutely didn't have a
Yeah.
rental or anything.
Well, the-
And you
the
also
commercial.
granted for another property owner that we put it on his bill and we shouldn't have.
Yeah, that was a
There's
mistake.
an apartment complex where we have like
Oh,
three.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was the mistake. So
That was in the yard. That was
But it didn't go against
We haven't
what you, what the intent was, okay?
But
And
we
this,
essentially took the number of residents and reduced it by some said number.
No, because it
No,
was
it didn't.
one property, right?
well, yeah, we, technically, the pickups did change. We'll have to, there is an adjustment to that, but that was an error on our part in the creation of the list. Okay,
Which was subjective in its own right.
correct, because it's our first year doing it. It's gonna
Yeah, I
have some
agree.
fixes.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are two different scenarios. These are absolutely people who want to, one just wants one set of toes, pay
Yep.
for it once. The other just wants to opt out completely.
Yep.
So let me ask you about the double. Okay, because there's more than one double in the village, right? That's a double, right? There's two residents in that one space,
Right, they're back to back.
right? But there's still two residents, there's two apartments, two living
They're-
spaces.
No,
they're two separate
I think one's the
Two
homeowner,
properties. They're
one's
two-
the homeowner.
Right, but that's
It's not a double, it's two actual tax IDs.
okay, so they're two distinctly different properties.
Properties, and to me,
And
Right.
two sets of property taxes, correct?
correct.
Right, so to me, I just don't see how that, I mean, because that could set a precedence for lots of other places in the village. That are three properties, right?
Yep.
So
I'm in the same boat. I agree.
I think we can't open that door, because boy, we start.
So in other words, even though they'd shared a single tote or whatever they were doing, you're still two separate properties in a district that's been formed.
Yeah.
And you're not taxed only with one,
Yeah,
you're taxed two.
You're still paying property
Right.
taxes every year on two distinct
Yes.
things.
So.
I wanna throw my 2 cents in because we're having a conversation. So
And a
when we
grain of
did,
salt.
yeah, right. When we did the bid, we said, hey, we have this number of residents, what's the cost per resident?
Mhm.
And we got a price back. per resident. In an optimal refuse scenario, nobody creates any. In which case, if everybody could opt out, you would have no cost on the refuse district because everybody's not creating any refuse. I know it's a very stylized example. What I'm saying though is, for people who don't create trash, there should be a reward. And for a person bidding on a contract on a per unit basis, per pickup basis, then we charge at a per pickup basis. But if we have 2 or 5 residents who simply don't need it because they're really good with their own refuse, we should reward them. And to me, the benefit to the community is we have a refuse district. We're gonna have a refuse district, whether or not we build 200 or 225 or 1,000 or 1,001. We're still gonna have a refuse district and it still is a benefit. But the optimal scenarios, nobody creates any refuse. And I think the people who are trying to consolidate and use less should be rewarded. It's the right direction for the environment. It's the right direction for society. So I would put a motion out that we allow them to be excluded because they're doing something more efficient than the rest of us. So good for them.
Dave, let me just give you this scenario. When I take out my garbage, I have one bag. If my neighbor and the neighbor next door to me wants to put all their stuff in my garbage can and share, and we could split the $24 a month,
Yep.
am I allowed to do that?
Sure.
Well, okay, now come on. How about
Hang on, I'm gonna, like, I didn't even have any garbage one week to put out.
I have the
I
same
had
item.
nothing.
Great.
So
But how,
I don't care about being rewarded. I'm still in a refuse district. I mean,
you can't keep track.
And
of
also-
what-
I don't know. I
Also,
think
my-
it's
my-
being parsed and.
Yeah.
My
I
bigger
agree.
thing with that, theoretically, right, if we're gonna talk about the environment, that individual could have 20 bags of garbage that they take themselves
To the dump.
To the dump, and I only have one,
Mhm.
and they're creating way more methane than I am once it gets to the dump, so I'm actually better for the environment for them than them.
I have a hard time believing that to be the case, given.
I'm just saying, that you could
You could
say whatever you want.
Parsing
Create
that.
that stylizing.
Yeah.
So
I'm just-
what I would say
hang on.
is there's 3 members of the board of the 4 of us here that I believe are going the other way. So let's move on.
I just want to point out one other thing to your argument. The rate based on the amount of refuse people we could provide. So the rate they gave us, because we gave them a number, and that rate is based on that. So if our number was lower, we might have got a higher rate.
I mean, we are at this point only talking about 2 people, but
Correct.
you know,
But that
okay,
is-
but
that
I
is
hear where you're
part of
going
it.
with that, because you're right, they absolutely bid within the context of knowing, you have how many
Yeah,
households and how many.
That was the estimate base.
Yeah.
All right, so my answer back to these residents from the board is thank you, but no.
Who's David's with you?
I can share that.
You need a motion on that?
It probably would be best, so,
Okay, she needs a motion.
You could point to it,
sure.
say.
Board
So-
made a motion.
So Dave actually made a motion.
I don't think I did.
I thought you were something.
Well, you made a motion to pay it.
Well, it'll fall and fit.
And then it's the answer.
Okay,
So,
here we go. I'll make the motion. I make the motion that we allow the 2 applicants to be excluded from the refuse district.
okay, is there a second? Are you gonna let the motion fail?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he still looks so good.
I know it.
Marvelous. The night.
What a nice
No, second.
Hey.
Motion fails.
You do remember the last time I had a motion fail? It was to exclude hairdressers and that's.
Oh, my God.
Good use.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, we're reliving the moment right now. Okay, anything else, Dorothea?
No, I think I'm done. I think our entertainment section of the meeting is done.
Looking forward to she's done. Okay. All right.
Can that be released?
What? Can we release Jeff now to the universe?
You'll find some other excuse.
I
Well,
do have one member
do
item.
you have a
that
member item?
that
Okay.
Kind of pertains to John.
Why don't we do member items right now? We'll do liaison reports and then we have to go into,
We have
an
2 minutes,
executive
and we have 2
session.
minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, we have minutes. I forgot. That's right.
So my very quick question to this board, that could potentially lend itself to a motion to Jeff is. I believe that in the traditional downtown district. It's right underneath the cherry.
Yeah.
In the traditional downtown district, by special permit, we should permit a tavern district that has shorter abbreviated hours than the existing tavern district. And we could do that by creating something called a lounge or whatever it may be, where we allow beer, wine, and liquor sales without food up to 11 o'clock Sunday through Thursday and midnight on Friday and Saturday. And the reason why is there has been instances in the past, the Margarita Bar, for example, that nobody's complaining about. What they're complaining about is didn't fit the code. And so we've addressed it, we amended it, and now the bar has food and food service. But I think there should be, through that special permit, the ability to allow that use. And New York State allows us to control the hours. They do use permit.
Well, it can't be different hours than other uses of like. But you don't have restaurants open that late anyway. How late is Thursdays open?
Pardon me?
How late is Thursdays open?
So Thursdays is
Thursdays-
taverns, 2 o'clock.
They have a 2 a.m. pour.
Yeah. They could technically stay open till 2 a.m. Monday through Sunday or Sunday through Saturday.
They have one of the oldest liquor licenses. I think.
So
Like,
not as part of the tavern district, but part of the traditional downtown, we should create a mechanism by which in that district, we have a more limiting hour than a permitted use of a later hour somewhere else. And from what I've read in New York, you can do that as a municipality. You can shave the period of time by which a business is permitted to sell alcohol, if that's their sole commerce.
What, why?
Yeah, what's the
What-
rationale?
What's the, like, what's
the reason?
the impetus behind the change? Like, why do you wanna do that?
Flexibility inherent to current or future establishments, to create, more flexibility in the community, but ensuring that you don't have a late night bleed of noise control beyond certain hours.
but we haven't had that anyway.
No, I know that.
I mean,
Well, what I'm saying is,
just.
Would the hours be to 11?
let me give you an example. Margarita Bar.
Yeah,
Okay?
give us an
The
example.
Margarita is a great example.
Okay.
They operated for.
Wait, where's the market? What is?
It's called the bar now.
Oh, it's all-
You're way
Yeah.
off. Well, tequila bar.
Yeah.
Tequila bar.
The tequila bar operated for a while.
Yeah.
Essentially as a bar, straight up, no food. There were no complaints.
Mhm.
But when they exited and the bar came in, we had this whole what-we-do about food, because that's what the code required.
Mhm.
And I'm saying, why? Why can't we just allow an establishment like that, of that size and scale and that, to exist, just with a shorter
I
abbreviated?
understand where you're going. I guess it's like, why the shorter abbreviated hours if there's never been complaints anyway? Like,
Because,
you know,
because they never operated past.
but that doesn't mean even if they did, that there would have been a complaint. In other words, I think you're trying to
Okay.
identify what you think could be a problem when we have a mechanism already. If they can serve till 1 a.m. or whatever it is, and they are creating a disturbance in our community, we have the power to do something.
Just under our normal.
So,
Yeah.
okay, let me ask you slightly.
So the only reason I'm saying that though, just to follow through the line of thought, you have people investing in the
Mhm.
business and in the license.
Mhm.
And you're saying, you have a 1 a.m. port now, you got, sorry.
So you're taking what I'm saying and going a step further. So I think that's a reasonable discussion.
Mhm.
But I think what we're both saying here is why don't we figure out a way to let
I think
more
we should definitely. look at
straight
it.
bars exist?
Mhm.
And we could, in the TDD, have it be by special permit
Mhm.
rather than as part of a tavern overlay extension.
Mhm.
And by being on a special permit, we can create more requirements, hours of operation, depending on where it may be located with residentials. So I think, for example, the coffee shop that just opened up
Mhm.
right next to Lincoln.
Mhm.
If that was part of the tavern overlay district, But you wouldn't want to do that, right?
First of all, under New York state law, it's too close to a church, I believe.
Okay, well,
You know, in other words, if you really start to look at what it looks like to just say, anywhere in this overlay, you can do
Mhm.
this, I think you'd be surprised at.
Is it
how
too close to a house too?
no,
No, it's not, it's, what is it? It's a church, a school,
the houses,
church and a school, right?
a house doesn't preclude you from having
Yeah.
a bar establishment, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's our job. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying on a special permit,
Yeah.
that's our job, right?
Yeah.
So by
And
around
so,
the corner, I'd be
yeah.
like, wait a second.
yeah, you kind of have two options here. One is to take the tavern overlay and extend it into the traditional downtown.
Mhm.
So it captures where the Tequila now the bar is, or captures, for example, Bank of America,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Possibly,
Sure.
right? Or we create a use that allows a tavern, right, or something different. Let's just say it's a tavern by special permit. And then we have a mechanism by which we can go in and say, yeah, you don't need to be a
I
restaurant.
think we definitely have to have more flexibility. I mean, people end up jumping through these hoops to, you know.
Right.
I agree with you.
So we let
100%.
this, we let the
Just
special
what's our
permit,
approach look like?
yeah, we let the special permit process dictate hours of operation, dictate location, right? And so Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, if a tavern, not part of the tavern overlay, but just generally a tavern, is permitted in the traditional downtown district by special permit, we could say that location wouldn't work past this hour because of its proximity to a residential dwelling. And so through the TDD, as you get closer and closer to a resident, the special permit would allow you to say no. Or restrict hours of operation.
I think you would want to build some controls into the special permit process for that use.
So what you're
For
saying
consistency.
is have a potential use, have it say special permit, have an asterisk, and within that asterisk, there's some additional guidelines as to the likelihood of getting it adopted based on its proximity to a residence.
I don't think you would include it in a zone if it would never be approved.
What if where
Yeah,
it be approved is more centered to the zone and the likelihood of approval decreases as you bleed toward the
I think
resident?
you're better off with an overlay and really,
Yeah, you're either better off with an overlay or
Yeah.
say that different hours of operation will apply the closer you are to a residential district.
I would just as well say that, only because then you've got some flexibility outside of the overlay. Right, so the overlay would basically say you can be a tavern until 2 AM, no restrictions up to this building.
Mhm.
Whereas a special permit with Jeff's conditions would say your likelihood starts to decrease as you go out, but then we can make accommodations for how
we
many.
should look at both. I think
would
that's a
not
pretty
say the
similar.
likelihood of getting use would decrease. The likelihood, you could control hours of operation by proximity to a residential use.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the hours, it's not the approval.
Yeah, and you could almost predetermine that and embed
I
it
mean,
into
if you decided that didn't want a use in a certain area of the zone, you really would are much better off doing it overlay district.
the thing is, I'm okay with the use and.
So, moving forward.
Right.
This, you know, we've talked about this several times. I mean, I think this is really going back to looking at our zoning, looking at, you know, this is the whole enchilada kind of stuff.
I think we can do this more on a spot.
Okay.
I don't think we have to spend 6 months figuring.
Oh, I'm not looking at 6 months.
No, okay.
That's in the past. We're here now.
Cool,
We can,
cool.
we can do this any way we want to do it.
All right.
Okay,
So
but I
we're-
think, you know, right now at 8:30, we're not gonna solve it. But I love where we're going with this, and I think we do need to have, you know, a larger board discussion.
Yeah, maybe a special meeting on
You
this?
know, yeah, possibly a special
Yeah.
meeting or something, maybe in September, October.
Could you do this? Could you put it on the agenda for the 9th?
Sure.
Yeah, bring it back.
And then I'll just bring it back. It'll be agended.
Yeah, so
And
it's publicly, so
and
people
maybe
know.
I'll put a little just blurb
Mhm.
of a paragraph so people know what we're gonna talk about.
Yep, send
That
me
would
the
be great.
agenda item along with your blurb
Yeah,
and your.
just make a note of an action item if you can.
They should put a blurb in my blurb.
We want the blurb, love the
Blurb.
blurb. Okay,
Thank you.
any other member items? For Jeff?
Um, No, I did have, I suppose that I'm saying on number items. Can we talk to the bank? Jeff, no, sorry, nothing for Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you have a good night too.
Talk to the bank. about
Talking to the bank, are they willing to extend out maturities at all with a nice rate? And how long do our maturities currently go?
You're talking about the CDs.
CDs? you know?
Our CDs right now, depending on the rate. I usually go for a sweet spot of 2 months, but lately the rate for 2 months and 1 month has been the same, so I've been going in 1 month.
Could you send a note maybe to Dave and I, because I think we're most curious, what the bank might be willing to give us for 1, 2, 3 years?
Yeah, because the fear is, especially after today, rates might go down.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, the inflation number is like, the jobs number, are we gonna have to go with like?
And I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna do that. You're locking your money too far out. You can't do that.
In terms of best practice for a municipality.
You don't, yeah, I
What
can.
about-
But
What
let's
about
talk,
reserve?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like, we know that there's gonna be a capital project in a couple months. Why wouldn't we lock that into 3 to 6 months?
let me talk to the bank.
Yeah,
I know I just renewed it for 30 days, maybe last week. And the problem is I find out like the day of the renewal, so.
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah,
time
yeah.
to talk to
they always
anybody.
sit there.
But let me reach out to her. I'll look at certain reserves, but certain money, no, you don't want to lock it up that way.
sure, but there's a good amount of money that if we can figure out how,
Like a
See where you're
ladder,
going
some
with
sort
it.
of ladder.
I see where you're
Yeah.
going.
because we can see rates.
Okay, so that's an admin, you're gonna circle back,
I'll get back to
financial
you.
administrative stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, what's next?
Minutes.
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 Okay, I have a couple things. On May 13th, Dorothea, is there a way to, on page 2, the Ellen Woods, Aaron F. Etter, and Len Parker comments.
Thank you.
Hi.
Good night.
Can we omit the responded to trustee Cove comment, responded to trustee Cove comment, reference trustee Cove comment? That's never been done before. It's not done in some of the other areas. I just don't think it's.
Yeah, they should
needed.
just.
I can have that
What they said, yeah.
Dorothea.
Okay,
My computer's time.
Oh,
We've been talking way too long.
yeah, we still have an executive session.
No.
We'll look with you, because I can't download them. That's okay.
that's the only thing I
I can
have.
remove those.
Thank you.
So let's make, anything else? Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve May 13th minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Marshall, trustee Wilkes,
Aye.
trustee Coe,
Hi.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye. I know, like, where are we now? It's still May
There we go.
13th.
Second.
May 27th minutes, I do have on page 3, board appointment discussion. Can we put where it says concerns, can we say trustee Cove raised concerns? Because that has been something that I've been talking about for at no end. Probably like that documented.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Any other amendments to those minutes, or is there a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve May 27th minutes. Do I have a second?
Is that a second down there?
There was.
I'm right, what? Wait, trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Wilkes.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay. We're good?
We're good.
Okay. Any other member items? Or
In fact,
liaison reports?
I do have some.
Okay,
Okay, I'll try to be quick because I know it's been late. Okay.
yeah, we have an example.
Yes, lemonade on the lawn. So Mayor, I don't know if you saw my note on your
I
desk.
did, I was at
Sorry,
the
I made it
surgeon's today,
hurry.
so I will respond. I just
Okay.
have to sort some things.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just, instead of doing Sunday, it would be
I
Saturday.
understand.
And I think it might be easier for you
Okay,
anyways,
okay.
because I think you're gonna not make it.
Okay,
Okay, so we'll take a look at that.
okay.
So I just, you know that I'm doing the, I'm chair for the event for the Canal Fest, guys, and I just wanted to give you a quick update. You'll see more of this stuff, but this is what's happening on September 27th, 28th. I should have given everybody a quick copy.
Oh,
Then-
well, how about if we send out digitals to everybody?
Okay.
Okay, let's
And-
just do
and-
that. That'll be an
Yeah,
action
and
item.
and it'll be on the
Okay.
website, just so you guys
Yeah.
know, but there's
Let's
one
go
thing I want to make note. Hopefully on Saturday, At 9:30, we're gonna have the trustees available with the mayor for lemonade on the lawn. I'd like you guys to be
And
available.
what lawn?
We're thinking about, we gotta talk about that. So maybe the gazebo.
Not gonna be this
We'll figure
lawn.
out some lawn.
We can say lemonade, maybe lemonade on the, in the
Yeah.
pavilion, like the Collins Pavilion.
What's wrong?
Why-
Did I
why
say
is it-
something?
There's just a loose donkey.
Oh, yeah. So donkey. So yes, we are trying to get a donkey.
We're working on the donkey
Working on donkey.
and possibly 2 miniature horses.
Sorry.
Just saying.
So, well, or mule, should we say a mule for your
It's
cat?
actually technically a burro, I have been told. Burro.
The other thing that I'm asking of the trustees is to potentially be available for when the Seneca chief comes in at that time frame when the mayor and the town supervisor come in on the boat. They're gonna make some announcements. It'd be great for you guys to be there.
I think the president of the Maritime Museum
We'll be there as
will
well.
be there as well. I think possibly Adam Bello. We're not sure if he's gonna do this stop or go right to Fairport,
Okay.
depending on
Yeah,
the festivities there.
it'd just be nice to have
Yeah,
the
but, you know,
trustees and the town board. as
yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because it'll be.
And you'll see more of that. This is what the flyer looks like. So you'll hopefully you're gonna be seeing these all over the village in.
No,
in
They're
the-
nice.
Yeah. Did
So-
that, that's really nice.
Yeah, and then I think Book Culture is selling posters.
Yeah, and we.
That's gonna be my next
I
question.
know, aren't
So,
they
and
nice?
then, yes, so there's a lot of fun stuff coming up.
I want us
That's-
to get one
yeah.
for Village Hall. It'd be really nice. Yeah, thanks for all your good work on that,
I
Lisa.
just have one question, and I think Jason and probably have the same question. What kind of staffing are you gonna need from the village office?
And I-
What
yeah.
are you
Yeah,
gonna
we need to
from-
report that.
And after I just had my meeting today and I've got I've got to get back to that and I'm gonna give you a full document of what we need from.
Yeah,
that.
that's all internal stuff.
That's, yep,
Just
that's all
because-
tomorrow.
I know
Gotta
you
start
change your
planning.
events on the weekend and.
Yes, and I've got that all written. That's gonna go
Sure.
to you and Alexandra tomorrow. Yes, thank you for
Perfect.
that. Quickly, I really do want to get this on the agenda to set a maybe special meeting for a business roundtable. I know, Dave, we had talked about this. Let's not try to forget that. So maybe sometime September, October.
Yeah, we were saying after the season.
Yeah,
just 'cause
that's
we're
what I
so
had
busy.
known of.
Yeah,
Great, okay.
you have it in the hopper.
Chris from Collier's Coffee is very excited about leading some kind of merchants association. I'm trying to hook him up with the chamber to see if he could work with them. Also, I gave him a contact, Nancy Regis, and Fairport Partnership, who is kind of doing something like, I think what Chris is thinking of as well. Overlay district discussion, I got that down, so Dave kind of did that. Welcome packet. I've got to kind of touch base with that and figure out what we want to do to get this welcome packet process off the ground. Should we think about Shane Place charrette? We talked about that. Can we think about that for the fall as well, getting that on the
Yep,
on the
that's actually in
calendar?
the hopper.
Dorothea, I need to talk we got to figure out how we're going to use this process to try to update this flyer and how we're going to do that. So I don't know where to go with that.
I think we can reach out to any printer and present them what we did in the past
And then
and
we've
see
got,
what needs to be
yeah,
updated.
because I can get I can get new current pictures, easy.
Yeah,
All right.
okay, some of the pick stuff.
So I'll work with you maybe directly. Should I just talk to you offline?
Yeah, Alexandria can help with that. She's
Yeah.
really good with all the.
All right, so I'll
crafts.
do that. I think this is for Alexandria, but I wanted an update on the board trainings because I know that there was a lot of trainings done by some of the board members that were not.
That'd be a call to
Okay.
Alexandria directly.
Perfect, I'll do that. HPV liaison report, one quick one. I know I did a report on our last board meeting that we had our special meeting. There's nothing else changed except for, which I want you guys to have brought to your attention, is 45 Monroe Ave. They requested a demolition of the current garage. In preservation, we do not like to hear demolition ever. It's really hard to do demos. I'm glad that the preservation board decided not to grant the demo with Steve's blessing as well. He did not feel it was appropriate.
Yeah,
So-
he did a site visit,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
and did an engineer.
So that was good. So there's no controversy there. And they're gonna come back with a new plan for the garage. So that was the only thing that I thought you guys should know about that. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've heard, Chandeliers is moving.
Oh, they definitely are.
They just put it on Facebook.
They
She
just,
just posted it.
yeah.
So unfortunately, that prominent corner of Chandeliers there, they're
I knew
like
they were.
at Eastview Mall, and they're gonna get rid of their village. I mean, they already have one at Eastview Mall, but I guess it's taken off.
It's taken off at East Mall.
So they're leaving. I don't know what the plans are for that building. I don't know if anybody's heard, but I'm upset about that because they've had such great window presence and it's such a great
Yeah,
staple in our
Yeah.
village, so.
yeah.
And then last, I know I requested name tags and new
Their order.
cards. Okay, that's it.
Their order.
Okay. Do I have any? I probably could have, but I don't remember anyway.
Actually, I did.
Oh, David has.
I had one of these.
Yeah.
My brother.
The one member that we put the-
That's the one. that's-
Okay, all right, I make the motion that we go into executive session, regarding human resource matters.
A second?
Okay, trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Coe,
Hi.
trustee Wilk.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're gonna pause it. All month.
Ready, go live.
Heather. Okay, so we're set, we're all set. Okay, I make a motion that we leave executive session.
I second?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Coe.
Hi.
Trustee Wilks.
Aye.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer. Mayor Plummer.
I had two Fs. Take it.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Hi.
Motion passes.
Okay. Do we have any motions?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion um, to increase our current part-time employee Laura Dunk to full-time at $26.50 an hour, starting immediately. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do you have a second?
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I gotta go. Right, yeah.
Second.
Okay.
President.
No,
I got a little quirky after
Wow.
mine.
Trustee Wilks.
Hi.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Hi,
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, is there another motion?
to make a motion to hire Eric Smith as an MEO at $25 an hour to start after the required employment process. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Wilks.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Hi.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer. Motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion to hire Matthew McIntyre as an interim forum for a 6-month probation with a $2 an hour increase. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilks.
Aye.
Trustee Coe.
Hi.
Trustee Marshall.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I make motion to hire Danielle Reeler, return to her former position as labor administrator at $27 an hour, with a 3 weeks paid family leave option or benefit. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Aye.
You're totally too good.
Right.
Trustee Coe,
Aye.
trustee Wilkes,
Aye.
trustee Marshall,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer. Motion passes.
Okay.
All right.
Wow,
Yay.
we didn't make the midnight deadline there, okay.